My name is Tom Connors. Let me turn the echo off. I think I might have fixed my audio issue, so if anybody just let me know if I don't sound okay or not.
Yeah, I'm fine. The music was completely drowning you out. It was really funny.
That's what I was wondering, but I found that my settings were set to like 7. That's where my audio was. I'm like, why is it cranked way down? No, whatever. Get it back up. So welcome everybody to the program. I want to welcome for the first time on the panel some new faces. We have Magitech Megs. You may recognize her from the chat, but she also has a YouTube channel as well. I've hung out there a few times with her. Hello, Megs. How are you?
Hey, y'all. I'm good, Tom. I'm how is everybody doing tonight? Nina, Carolyn, I am ready to get into these discussions that just popped out of nowhere.
So yes, you do have a YouTube channel where you talk about all kinds of stuff. Why don't you give the folks just a real quick rundown of what you do on your channel?
Well, of course, I'm still, in the process of really getting it started. I am going to be starting my first ever live gameplay of one of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy VI, and it will be the remastered version. So it'll be the Pixel remaster from Steam, and that will be on Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So that will be my first time having a live gameplay. So come check me out. It'll be a blast, and you get to enjoy watching me enjoy my favorite game of all time. So,
Yay!
Yep. So, and then, of course, I would like to start talking about old classic films at some point. So, because that's what I love the most.
Oh, I love the classics. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So,
subscribe.
Indeed, and another new face on the panel tonight, Carolyn. How are you doing tonight? Good to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. It's great to be here. I'm excited to chat about all the latest nerdy news that's going on. I got to talk about all the tea.
Awesome,
yes.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, since we're not, so for those who may not be familiar with you as well.
So I currently I'm streaming full time on Twitch, Monday through Friday from noon to 5 p.m. Eastern.
So you're cheating on Twitch.
I am. I have a YouTube channel. I just haven't posted anything on it yet. I will get there. I'm just being lazy. The laziness is just pouring out of me right now. I have to learn new editing programs, and so I am procrastinating like nothing else.
I feel you, girl. I understand completely. Guys, just FYI, Tom is having audio issues.
Still having audio issues? Is that better yet?
Yes.
It sounds a lot better than before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I turned it all the way up to 100 now. So
okay. Yeah, that's better. Definitely.
And last
better.
but not least, of course, Nina Infinity. How you been?
Hey, I'm doing good, Tom. Had a really good time last night hanging out with you and Script Doctor talking about Yellowstone. It's going to be another great show tonight. So stick around, folks. We're going to get into a lot of interesting news. Today was not a slow news day. I was like, oh my God.
Disney got a double punch this morning between the DeSantis news and Cocaine Bear damn near knocking Ant-Man off the top spot in its second weekend. Yeah.
That's right.
That drop off. Whew.
What was the Disney news though? Like other than Ant-Man? I didn't hear.
DeSantis signed the Reedy
Creek
Reedy
deal.
Creek. It's no longer they don't get their deal anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh damn. I didn't hear about that. Holy cow.
Yeah, he had 2 months to make that decision. He didn't waste no time.
Wow. There was news today, dude. We've got you covered. We've got you
That's
covered.
What we all said.
That's what you're here for.
But you ladies have some other interesting things to talk about as well, so I can't wait to get into that. So.
Yes, we've got a really good show tonight. So everybody, smash the like, share the stream, tell everyone what's going on here on Monday night, and we're going to be joined by Force of Light in a little bit as well. So make sure you stick around for that. But let's start it off. We've got a couple gamers on the panel here, and I was just playing Hogwarts Legacy right before we started this stream. And this popped up on my feed today, and I thought it would be the perfect segue to kind of talk about Kara's story and what happened with her, because what happened with her was just mental. And some of you may or may not know, I found out through like Twitter, and that's how I got in touch with her. And I had her on my channel, and we talked about all of the stuff that she went through. But I'm gonna have her kind of tell you what was going on with her as well from her own words. But the article we're going to discuss is Hogwarts Legacy sale figures tell a pretty clear story. Now, Kara, share with us why Hogwarts Legacy and the fact that it's succeeding just tickles you a little bit.
Oh gosh. So I expressed my excitement about Hogwarts Legacy back in December via tweet, just responding to somebody saying I was excited that it's hitting all the marks for me. And somebody decided to go through. Oh, I'm being I got dog.
Oh,
here.
you got it. You're being
Oh no.
hang on. We
No
got to go
worries,
full
no
screen
worries.
on this.
There
Oh
he
my
is.
gosh,
Hello,
Doggo.
bumpers. Oh, hello.
There he is.
Aw.
You crashing the party, dude?
Oh,
He's what I
Crashing
said.
the
He knows
party.
He's the star.
That's Gus.
yeah.
Gus is best boy. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
But so somebody decided to deep dive into my Twitter and went all the way back 7 years to find a single tweet that they dubbed transphobic,
What?
even though it was not.
Mm-hmm.
And basically demanded that I was fired from my job as the community manager at Limited Run Games. And they caved, and they did it within the day.
It was pretty
So,
shocking.
It was
What-
all because I was excited about Hogwarts Legacy, and that pissed somebody off.
Some crazy person. And this is why this tickles you. I mean, it tickles me. This is the whole entire reason I started playing this game was because, well, not the entire reason. It's more like the entire reason I found out about the game, because once I had found out about it, I was going to play it anyway because I'm a Harry Potter fan. But then when the story came out that like people wanted to start canceling people over this game, I was like, hey, hold up. Wait a minute. Why are people being canceled over this? Wait, what was that you were holding up?
The first book.
Ooh, yay. Cancel her more. No,
So no,
Bring it.
you know, it was funny because when Nina brought this up, I had heard about this story and I didn't realize it. I put 2 and 2 together when she messaged me about the whole thing that you were the one in that story. So it's like, yeah, so it's kind of odd that, you know, we hear about these stories, but very rarely do we actually get to talk to somebody who's been on the front lines of this stuff, who's actually been canceled, basically. And yeah, so I mean, what has that been like since then? I mean, clearly the obvious schadenfreude of having the game do popular, but I mean, are you finding success in Twitch and all that kind of stuff too, or not?
It's been a roller coaster. I handled it really well whenever it first kind of happened. Like, I, of course, was very overwhelmed and really didn't know what feelings to feel. And honestly, recently, this weekend was a rough one. It kind of all just kind of came crashing out. Like, I think I was in shock for the first month. And this weekend, it finally just kind of hit me that everything that I loved, like from my job, was just basically ripped away from me because somebody got their feelings hurt about something that didn't even pertain to them or anything to do with my job.
Right.
And it just really hurt that somebody went out of their way to hurt somebody that they've never spoken to, never even seen outside of a couple of tweets. Like, they obviously didn't look into my content or who I actually know or speak to. They just got very hyper fixated on a certain topic and went out of their way to try and find something that could hurt me. And it was very frustrating. And I realized I had a lot of anger bottled up. And it's just, it was
So you've been like bombarding like everything, like, you know what, bombard you go bombard yourself.
I just got bombarded today, actually. And I've been destroying all the things. I tweeted yesterday. I was like, man, I really want like a punching bag or something because I feel like that would be really useful right now for my time and my energy.
Yeah, I mean those are really good. It's just, you know what it is, Kara, is that you've gone through a loss, right? So in a way, you're going
mourning
through
it my own way.
You are. You're going through the grieving process, so it's going to be up and down, and there's no right way or wrong way to grieve. It's just a process that you have to go through, and then at some point you're gonna come out to the other side. But I think that obviously you're gonna have to look at the positive side of things, and the positive side of things is, well, look, you're here now. You're here.
I have new friends.
Yes, you found new people that are like, we have your back, and people that don't like cancel culture, like us, like here at Midnight's Edge. Like me personally, Mags, obviously, other people that I will introduce you to. Like I told you last time, there's going to be a lot of people. Chrissy Mayer, you've met already. There's a lot of people in this community that support people like you. And, we think cancel culture is bullshit. So that's the thing.
Tantrum. The way I have been describing it is it's just a toddler throwing a tantrum because they didn't get the ice cream they wanted. That's it. That's the best way to summarize it, in my opinion.
So now, have you explored any legal avenues, or do you live is this all in a state where they have like one of those policies where they can pretty much fire you for anything and there's not much legal recourse you have?
I am in one of those states where it is an at-will state, unfortunately. So I cannot pursue legal action against them. But I considered legal action against the person. So like I have compiled a lot of like screenshots and everything and links. It's just the tediousness of finding a lawyer that will take it.
Because it's Jonas here who actually writes for that park place. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I'm sure he's familiar with the story, and he says that person has a long history of bullying behavior. So they've a case there.
They've bullied people, they've stalked people, they've harassed them. That person has a very they've got quite the full closet of skeletons.
Wow. Well, the thing here's the other positive side that you could look at now, Kara, because you now know me as I said, and I know a lot of lawyers now. I'm into the whole law tube aspect, so I know a lot of lawyers. I'll hook you up, girl. Don't worry. We'll get you sorted.
There are plenty of lawyers who are part of our community sphere of people where we all intermingle, and I'm sure they would definitely provide any kind of direction they can give you into who's the best person that could help you in this situation, or in locally especially. So
I'd love
definitely
to talk. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are bringing up the nose right now, like
Rekieta, Rekieta Law.
I was thinking more like Robert Barnes, though, and there's several other ones, and they can at least kind of give you a guidance of who to hire, because there's a lot of people that know people, and that's kind of like what you need is someone to give you some guidance. And I got you, girl.
Yeah, I talked to a few. I reached out to like 3 different lawyers in my area, and all of them said no. So.
Don't worry, I got you, girl. Don't worry. We'll talk after this.
Well, on the other side of this, let's be real. Like Nina's saying, like we'll plug you into this community, and they will support you wholeheartedly, because this is one thing we do not believe in is cancel culture. Period.
No, yeah.
I appreciate it, guys. Like seriously, like I have received so much like love and support from like you guys. Like I have people coming into my streams from Nina, and like they're just like, "Oh, you were on Nina. Like I remember watching your video, and it was great seeing you on there." And like you, and like I know Melanie Mac. I've known Melanie for years. I've known Melanie for like 6 years now.
Melanie's awesome. Also,
she is great.
Also, Kara, you said I was on Nina. That's funny. Crazy.
One day.
Hey-o. Oh my god.
Sorry.
No, don't be. This is what Toxic Femme is all about, girl.
This is late hour time. We could do this.
I was gonna say, this has been light. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh,
Until we start talking about clicking beans and all kinds of other crap.
I was gonna say, Tom, you haven't met Mandy yet. Don't worry, girl.
Yeah, no, We haven't even got to
So-
the penis talk yet. I
No.
mean,
Things are really
eventually
really
it leads over some cliff at some point.
things
I'm
are real
here
PG
for it.
The
right now.
night is still young.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah,
I don't have
Megs
any
knows what I'm talking
booze.
about because she's been hung
Man.
around some of us guys. We can get pretty.
I've been around y'all for what 2 years, Tom? Let's see.
at the
So-
very least, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen you in the chats, Meg. It's about time that you're on the panel and
Thank
talking
you.
to us. But this is great news
Great.
though for Hogwarts Legacy. Sales
Mhm.
are basically through the roof. It sold over 12 million units in its first 2 weeks, and it's now generated over $850 million in sales.
Woo!
$850 million.
There's-
Um,
So Carolyn, how does it make you feel seeing this kind of number? When,
Oh, I love it. It's just like a big fuck you to all the
Yes,
haters.
there you go.
Like I can't help but smile about it. It's just like,
Mhm.
suck it. Like
that's what I feel like.
it's like that. Like there's all this like spite and pettiness in me. It's just like, you failed.
Yeah, this is why, like, I feel like what J.K. Rowling does too is like she'll probably just go like cash out a shitload of money and then like just like spread it on her bed and she'll just like roll around in it and be like,
Or like wave a bunch of dollar bills like a fan.
yeah, like a fan, like yeah, bitch.
Oh God.
It's also generated, what was it? It was like another people have it's been played over 280 million hours to date. And this
Wow.
was last week actually. This is from February 23rd. So it's
that's gone up.
probably a lot more now.
Mm.
But there you go. That's the latest from Hogwarts Legacy, which I'm still playing. I'm almost done though. I'm like
Same.
70%.
Wow.
It's so good.
It's
I'm
so good.
at like 40 hours in right now, and it's such a like it. I've got to say, it's got to be like one of my favorite games of all time that I've ever played. Like
It's
I'm
really good.
constantly thinking about it.
Oh my god, yeah, it's really good. The only like a tiny bit of issue that I have with it has now been like because I've been playing it so much and I'm doing like all the little things. I've found it gets kind of a little bit repetitive after a certain point when you do
A
like
little bit.
Yeah, like the
They
Maryland's trials
Add
and
a
stuff like
lot
that.
of variety into the Merlin's trials, though.
Yeah, they have.
They
But,
have
like,
over 100 of them, so of course there's going to be repetitiveness in it.
yeah, it just like I feel like there's just a certain aspect, like I'll do like this giant thing, and then it'll be like, oh, here's a pair of shitty gloves that you don't need, and I'm like,
You could be almost done with the game and doing these side quests now, and it's like I
Yeah.
don't really need this anymore.
Yeah, I totally like that. I'm like, well, I just spent like fucking 30 minutes doing this puzzle, and it gave me like a shitty hat that I don't need right now. But okay, thank you so
My
much.
one criticism I had is how slow you walk inside of the houses.
Yeah, that bugs me
That's
too. I'm
my
like,
only criticism that I've had so far.
let's go. I had one other one because one time I spent like 2 hours on this one puzzle. It was the box puzzles that you could move with like the push and pull. And then I found out that it was glitched. And I was like, no wonder I couldn't do it, because I like went out and came back and I was like, oh my God, it was fucking glitched. And it was so annoying. I was like, I almost smashed a lot of things. Thank God I had this, because I was like, it's okay. It's okay. I'll like just squeeze the cat. It's
one of
okay.
those.
Squeeze the cat. Squeeze the pussy.
Yeah, there you go, Bags. You're getting it. You're getting that toxicity up. Toxicity levels going up.
I'm sorry. It was waiting for something.
It was right. It was
You
right
better
there.
not apologize. That's what the show is all about.
It was right there, and I expect you to get that. Speaking of which, there is Nicholas Horton sending us a doggy farting hearts. So thank you so much for that super
Thank
sticker,
you.
Nicholas.
That's
And
lovely.
there we go. Now, there was some other news that I was kind of a little bit shocked about, because Warner Brothers came out and announced some pretty big, like a pretty big deal about Lord of the Rings. And it was like the shadow, basically that they want to bring back the Lord of the Rings franchise
Correct.
at Warner Bros. And I was very shocked about this announcement. It was really kind of like, oh, like direct competition for Amazon's Rings of Power. This is crazy. And then I went to kind of read about what was going on, and I ran into this article from Forbes of all places. And we know usually like Access Media and Shills are kind of like hardcore about promoting the latest and greatest, and especially Rings of Power when Amazon was out. But this dude right here like rips into the Rings of Power a little bit, and I was like, this is actually a really good article. So I thought we would read this together. And it's pretty funny. So here we go. New Lord of the Rings movies are in the works over at Warner Bros. The new films come 20 years after Peter Jackson trilogy made history as one of the greatest cinematic adaptations of all time, though I had plenty of bones to pick with those films when they were released. I think a lot of people did at the time because it wasn't like so crazy true to like the story, like the story. But I mean, they didn't have 20 hours. A certain amount. I mean, certain things have got to get cut. But I still think it's one of the best adaptations of all time. There are no details beyond this announcement. No directors, no actors are attached to the project. No release date is in sight. And yet I already feel a terrible sense of dread. Now, for me, I'm kind of like, the only thing that kind of made me feel dread is because I read a couple of headlines where they were going like, Warner Brothers wants to do Lord of the Rings for the modern audience. And I was like,
well, you know who just bought the rights to the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, the Embracer company.
The Embracer
Group, which is who got me fired.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's totally true. But what's funny about this is they bought the rights with Warner Brothers already having the license. So
How does that work?
Go ahead, Kara. You probably know more about it than I.
I don't know too much about it, just because I had never even spoken to anybody from Embracer Group before.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So sadly, I don't know all the information about it, but they were my boss's boss.
Gotcha.
Wow,
So my understanding of the situation is this. They got the rights back in the day for the original Lord of the Rings. The 3 movies. They ended up having to deal with going to court to get everything ironed out for the Hobbit. That's why MGM and Warner Brothers produced both of them produced that. But it's still under Warner Brothers purview. They made the Hobbit, so that counted towards their license deal. They have to make a movie probably every 10 years. That time has come up. They have made the War of the Rohirrim. That has extended their copyright. And when Embracer or Saul Zaentz company, which owned the rights before Embracer Group, they went to the press saying, as far as we know, we have the rights. And then they had to come back and say, well, actually, it's Warner Brothers still has it right.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is what's going on here. So I don't even know why that line is in this Forbes article, other than they have got a hard on to go after Zaslav. Jesus, they can't even give no release date in sight, and I already feel a terrible sense of dread. Look, this is the real Lord of the Rings, man. This ain't the Amazon crap. And not only that, you've had Peter Jackson come out and say that he's going to be a part of this probably. So what the hell's your problem?
Oh, if Peter Jackson will be a part of it, I'll watch it.
I did read that.
Oh, yeah.
That he
I'm
might
on board
be
with
part
that.
of it. I was like, I'm on board if he's on board. But like,
I haven't watched Rings of Power.
Don't.
It's horrible.
That's what I've
horrible.
heard.
That's
why I've been staying away from it.
And for those who may not understand, Rings of Power was actually made with loopholes because they didn't go through the Saul Zaentz company at the time. They went through the Tolkien estate, and the Tolkien estate only had rights to certain aspects, nothing that's in Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion, or in The Hobbit. So they had
they only had like that much of the book. They only had like that much of the book.
Yeah, just the appendices is all they
That's
got.
why they couldn't even call them hobbits. They call them like Harfoots and shit. And like they're like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Because it has a lot of copyright issues with that too. Just like with Gandalf, or the not really Gandalf character.
Exactly. That's why they couldn't really say it was Gandalf. Like it was.
Well,
like,
I heard they cut some checks to Warner Brothers and New Line so they could in the second season, and that's why their names are attached to it now. But that's neither here nor there, because basically Zaslav made the announcement that we're going head to head with Amazon and
Yep.
we're doing it with the real Lord of the Rings.
And not only that, I was listening in on to, was it Valiant Renegades? When he was listening to the call, and the way that Zaslav presented it, it definitely was a dig at Amazon. Like, it was like, we own these IPs, kind of like messaging, and it's like, ooh,
Ooh, that's
like a little
interesting.
dig.
I didn't listen to that. I gotta listen to that.
It was really, really good.
That sounds
Yeah.
interesting. But like for me, like I said, like the only dread I felt was when I read the words made for a modern audience. Like, we're gonna turn Lord of the Rings to the modern audience, and I was like, ugh, like, please, no, God. And
I
this
don't
guy,
think I heard
this guy
that
talks
on the
about
call,
that.
though. I don't remember hearing the term modern audience on the call, but I will have to recheck that, because when all of a sudden after that call, people were saying on titles, like headlines, modern audiences, I was like, wait, that's not, I didn't think I heard that, but I could be wrong. So
I don't remember Zaz saying anything about modern audiences.
no,
Well, thank God.
No, as far as I know, this is just going to be an extension of the films and stuff. But they can do prequels, sequels, in-betweeners, whatever you want to call it.
Kind of staying in the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings adaptation kind of universe, so to speak. So
As long as they stick to it, I think that should be fine. But if they go and try to make like a whole bunch of like creative changes,
yeah,
no,
we'll see how it goes.
And that's the thing, though, is that I always thought that they could have used a series versus movies, because again, in movies you're gonna have to cut stuff to, like, save time. So it would have been better to do, if you're gonna do like an epic Lord of the Rings series, it would have been better to do an epic Lord of the Rings series, so that you can do, you can have Tom Bombadil and like all like the little characters that got cut from the first movies, because then you have the time. But in this case, they're doing the movies again, so God knows where they're gonna go with that. And I mean, like, there's so much to live up to when it comes to the movies. And this guy goes into that a little bit. So the article goes on. The move comes as Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav has cut costs across the board, canceling shows and movies and scaling back streaming operations in a massively unpopular, though probably necessary, attempt to climb out of the red and into the black. Call it a streaming hangover. All the big players are waking up to the realities of post-spending spree bender. A new venture into Middle-earth, tapping into the deep well of Tolkien content, comes at its own cost, of course. Embracer Group owns the film rights to Tolkien's works, so Warner has worked out a deal with the Swedish holding company, largely known for its acquisition of video game studios. At the undisclosed price, Kara, I can't see you, but I can feel you smiling.
That's why when I saw her lean in with a smirk on her face, I was like, oh.
You didn't say the name of the company.
You're just
but I'm
all
like,
over this stuff tonight, no matter what.
Apparently so. God,
that's so
Do you
funny.
know Henry Cavill too?
God, I wish.
It was totally unplanned, Kara. I love how this is unplanned and this is working out. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying, is once I realized and put two and two together of who she was, I was like, oh shit.
It's all falling into place.
I'd have made a bigger deal about it, is my point. You'd have been on the thumb, Kara, and everything. Like, it'd have been all about you in this.
How
dare you, Tom? How dare you?
I'm fine.
It's a big deal.
Let me
this
fly
is
under
that's
the
a big
radar,
deal.
okay?
You
I'll let
fix
you
that
fly.
thumbnail now, Tom. Get in the
I'll work on it. I actually can't change it now, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay. At an undisclosed price, given how expensive Tolkien is these days, now that he's so in vogue, it can't have been that cheap. Okay. I think it's just so funny too. Like, let's
Wait, did they
take
just
a
say
moment.
Tolkien's in vogue when, like, not even a year ago they were calling him racist?
They're still calling him racist. I read an article today that said, like, it was yesterday, 1984, and the Lord of the Rings is considered like a gateway to white supremacy and racism. And I was like,
yeah, like it's right wing stuff. I'm like, what the freak?
Right wing propaganda, I think that was the
article. Something like that. Something.
Is it because there might be some traditionalism in Lord of the Rings? Maybe?
I think it's because the author was Christian. So they're like, nah. Like,
well, he was a very religious Catholic. So yeah, that they don't like those.
No, not at all.
He and the guy that wrote the Narnia books.
Narnia, C.S. Lewis. That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah,
I was like, didn't he know C.S. Lewis?
I was gonna say,
they were best friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Very good friends. Oh, by the way, they're apparently making Narnia for Netflix.
Yep.
I hope that they do it well. I personally enjoyed the Narnia books, and I liked the first couple of movies. I think I stopped at like Caspian. But
Girl,
we'll
you
see.
know they're gonna turn Aslan gay. You know it's gonna happen. Like
No, he's got to be gender.
They're gonna take him into that's what I was just saying.
true.
They're gonna make him a woman.
It's gonna be a
Because
female
God
lion.
is a woman, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's right. It's gonna be a female lion. That's right. You guys are so right. You guys are so right. Okay, you know what? A female lion lesbian. There you go. Now we're both right.
Triple L.
So what to make of all this? In purely business terms, Warner Bros. Is almost certainly onto something. Tolkien has never been more popular. The fantasy genre has never been so lucrative. A new foray into Middle Earth will create buzz and hype, and if it's not a total disaster, make a dragon's hoard worth of money at the box office, vis-a-vis merchandising and all the rest. Video game tie-ins await. HBO Max spin-off series practically write themselves. Even the disappointing Hobbit trilogy made money, though less and less over the course of each film. Perhaps Warner Bros. Dude, the Hobbit movies are now like gold compared to what the fuck we got with Rings of Power.
Yes, it's almost like when you look at stuff like that and you go, "Oh wow, why didn't I appreciate this as much as I should?"
Yep. They're
They're
a
still
lot of
not
movies.
the greatest movies, but at the same time, when we got Rings of Power, it's like, wow, this is like
There's a lot of movies I think about that. Like I'm like I watched stuff that I was like, man, this sucked, and then I rewatch it and I'm like, man, this is really good for today's standards.
Yes.
Perhaps Warner Bros. Learned some lessons from that, though the cynic in me can find no reason to believe in such fairy tales, and that's good. You shouldn't trust Hollywood studios, and they don't deserve your trust.
It's okay to question. It is okay to question.
Mhm.
That's, in spite of the last couple of years, questioning is a good thing to do.
Mhm. As much as I want to be excited for more Lord of the Rings, I can't help but think that mostly it's all just pale shadow compared to the books I fell in love with as a child. Years and years ago, I wrote a piece for The Atlantic wondering when the obsession with adapting fantasy into movies and TV would wear off. And of course, since then, it's just gotten more and more popularized and mainstreamed. The way I see it is there are essentially three options for Warner Bros. When it comes to making the new Lord of the Rings movies. First, to remake the movies to suit modern times. Gross. That's
a no, dog. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
No.
The basic story remains the same.
The source material.
Yes.
Right. The basic story remains the same, but the better with better special effects and more diverse cast to appease the modern audiences, or rather modern media critics. Legolas will be a woman and the hobbits will be Harfoots and so forth.
Who's
asking?
Who's asking for this? Is it the media critics? Is that what he's trying to say?
He's saying that's what they want. Yes.
No.
He's saying the critics
But
want
nobody
this.
wants that.
No,
No actual,
the audience doesn't want it.
Consumer wants that.
No one who likes Lord of the Rings wants that, or a fucking Legolas being a woman. Like, okay, girls, who'd you like the best? Were you an Aragorn girl, or were you a Legolas girl? Or okay, I'm gonna put Gimli there just because he's. I mean, there's no judgment, okay? But like,
Boromir all the way.
Tom, you sound really good.
Girl, I was Legolas girl.
Yeah,
I had the biggest crush on Orlando Bloom.
Same here, girl. Okay, what about you? What about you, Megs?
I was definitely an Aragorn girl.
Oh, okay, all right. So we got
Gimli.
Both ends of the spectrum.
Okay, there you go. Tom was into Gimli, so we're good. I mean, I'll ask Michelle when she comes on because I'm pretty sure she's gonna be an Aragon girl. But
I think for me, I was Aragorn all the way. When I was much younger, of course, when these came out. But I have a deeper appreciation for Faramir over time.
Okay,
yeah, I can see that.
You know what's funny is like when it first came out, I was a Legolas girl all the way. But like now that I've rewatched it, I'm more leaning towards the Aragorn. Like I was like, ooh.
I can see that. I haven't rewatched them in like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like at least 10 to 15 years.
It's time,
So,
girl.
It's time.
So you ain't
It's
watched until you're like 5 or what? Jesus, you guys ain't that old. Come on.
I'm
You're
like
making me feel old.
15. I'm just joking.
Christ, what the hell?
Okay, second, to tap into some other Tolkien stories, such as the Silmarillion, the trick is that that's really a collection of stories and fables and legends that would be extremely difficult to translate to the big screen. Rings of power.
Mhm.
Still, it's possible that it could actually be quite exciting if done well. There are stories in the Silmarillion that could make excellent films, though this would require a great deal of skill and care. Two
Well-
things that often seem to be missing in Hollywood these
Well,
days. See,
well,
I
then
feel like
why
this
is
is shots fired.
It's shots fired, but in one instance, he's talking about in the first, the first bullet item, he says, or he or she, I don't know who,
It's a he.
he says make it diverse and for modern audiences, but then at the same time, he says in the same article in the second bullet item would require great deal of skill and care, and I'm just like,
Well,
okay, so
he's
that
saying,
also means following the source material.
Who's the
so not,
bipolar moron who wrote this?
yeah,
he's
that's
saying,
what I mean.
see,
It's
like
contradictory.
what I understand from it is that
Sorry, I
he's
didn't
saying
mean to-
from their perspective, like he's trying to
Okay.
look at it from like the movie studio's perspective, is
Got
this is how we could
Well,
do
I'll
it.
tell you
Like,
right now, first of all, there ain't no way they're gonna remake it.
here
That
it is.
studio looks at Lord of the Rings like Godfather.
Because
Mm.
it is God, basically, because
It's huge.
yes.
Talking writers talking gibberish. It's called gobbledygook. Like, come on, guys, let's go.
oh
let's
my
go.
gosh. I just did that quest. Thank you. I know exactly what
Clearly,
you're talking about.
Zaslav is one who would know that the only reason that Lord of the Rings would be any good right now is if you make sure it's connected with the original, right? Because
Mhm,
otherwise, nobody's gonna give a shit. 'Cause as
mhm.
far as people are concerned, that is the Lord of the Ring.
Yes.
Like, end
That's
of
what made
discussion.
that's what made it. I mean, I wouldn't say it made it more popular than it already was, but it definitely opened up, to like worldwide this vision of what it could look like, and it
At this
made it such
point-
an epic out of body experience when people watched it. It was beautifully done, and this is what people expect if Lord of the Rings is set, whatever new Lord of the Rings stuff that they're going to put out, people are going to expect Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings vision. So it's
Yes.
kind of, they're going to want to have that aesthetic. So,
Absolutely. Third, to follow Amazon's example with the Rings of Power, grow.
Which you don't want to do at all.
No. And just completely ignore the source material altogether, instead creating a widely expansive fan fiction while giving fans the proverbial bird. If you don't like it, you're a bigot. This is why I think it's funny. He's
I
shooting.
mean,
That's
He's
that's
not-
shots
he's not
fired.
I get
wrong.
where he's coming
That's
from,
shots
but
fired right there.
he's coming from an angle at first of like, why do you think that they would even do any of this stuff? That's what I don't get. Like, what?
I think because he's trying to stay on like how they like he thinks they would think like and right now he's right, like I think the wokeisms are still there, so they're thinking like, okay, should we go with the woke? And I think that that's part of the argument now. It's like, have they caught on? And I think like through understanding and seeing the numbers that Amazon went, they kind of went broke, like woke go broke kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So if they're looking at that, they definitely shouldn't go with option A or option C. They should be going with this,
Yeah.
or like, so, but mainly kind of like mainly someone with skill. And that's why the fact that they're getting Peter Jackson involved is a good thing. Like if that is going to work out, that's a good thing, because
And
he's got skill.
And he got snubbed by the Rings of Power people, Peter Jackson.
Mhm,
So I'm
mhm.
sure if anything, if he's going to be working with people like Zaslav and that kind of team, he's going to be there's going to be some better level of cooperation as far as professionalism is concerned on that. So of
Mhm.
course, yeah, I mean, why not get the man that helped spurn a whole new movement of people enjoying fantasy genre? So
Mhm.
it's not that
Well, like you
people
were
didn't.
saying.
It's just made it more mainstream while people
Well,
get,
I was gonna say I'm
yeah.
willing to bet more people have seen the films than have ever read the books. Max.
Yeah,
So you're
I
probably
I
not
agree.
read the
wrong there.
books because I watched the first movie. So Peter
Same here,
Jackson
Nina.
introduced me to Lord of the Rings, and I watched the first movie, and I was like, "Wait, what? This is gonna end here? Like, what the fuck is this?" And I'm like,
I read The
"Oh,
Hobbit in school, so
oh, that's
Yeah, a lot of
cool."
schools did back in the day. That's where I was
Mhm.
introduced
We
to it.
never
Between
read
that and the.
that.
Well, actually, I take that back. The TV special with the Hobbit was actually my first.
Yeah.
Oh,
thing
that's
before
Now,
we
cool.
I
read the
actually
did
books.
you
read
ever
Narnia first
have
before I read those.
I read Narnia and then I read The Hobbit in school, but did you guys ever
Okay.
play the Hobbit game that was like on the Xbox?
No,
I
I've
know of
heard
it,
it's
but
really
no, we
good.
didn't. Yeah, I never got a
It
chance
was
to.
surprisingly good RPG for the original Xbox.
Wow, I've heard it's
Mhm.
really good, but I never had an Xbox, so I didn't play it.
I
I'm
saved
basic
up
though.
all my babysitting money. I bought an Xbox.
Babysitting money.
That's how you do it.
Good girl. My own dream, he writes, to adapt the Lord of the Rings trilogy is into a 2D animated limited series that hews close to the books as humanly possible. It's just a dream, a wild fantasy that will likely go only happen if somehow I become a billionaire or befriend one and can suddenly afford to purchase the rights to such an ambitious, modest project. Then pay to have it made. Give me all your money, dear readers, and we'll make it together. Speaking of that, though, I will say the 2D Lord of the Rings animated feature was also amazing. I loved the 2D
The back shoe
animated
back in the
feature.
day.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I don't
really
It'd be
remember
nice if you could
that.
just finish it.
It's like in the
I
80s.
I
Actually
haven't
came
seen
out
it in
like
a long
76
time,
or
so I
something.
need to
Yeah.
catch up on
76
that
or
one.
78.
Was it 76, Tom?
Somewhere in there, between 76, 77, 78, somewhere in there.
So freaking good. I mean, they were like literally like shot for shot almost of the books. It was really good.
I don't know about that, but like it
Well, I
was.
mean, they were really close at the time. At the
What it
time.
did is it did a pretty good job because what they were going to do is they were taking all three books and putting it into two movies. But
Yeah.
the first movie didn't do well enough at the box office, so they never finished it.
So they never finished it. That was the sad part, is that they needed to finish it. In two of these three scenarios, I see disaster. A remake of such recently made films will suffer from constant comparison. Who will walk in the giant footsteps of Sir Ian McKellen as
Mhm.
Gandalf? He should have added a Sir. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he
Uh,
deserves it. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
he does.
he is been knighted.
I just
Uh,
don't see them remaking these movies. There's no
I
way.
can't.
They'll remake
either.
The
They don't
Hobbit before
need
they
to
do Lord of the
remake
Rings.
them.
Exactly.
That's the thing. They don't need
Mhm.
remade.
No.
That's see, I can't see, and I could be wrong. So anybody in chat, save this if you want, but I can't see Zaslav wanting to remake Peter Jackson's Lord of the Ring trilogy. I think he wants to work around that trilogy
Mhm.
more so than
Exactly.
anything else. Like, and not even make changes to it. It's just
Or-
more.
Or
I don't know.
maybe it is like the Silmarillion. Maybe like Zaslav has seen how much the Rings of Power bombed, and he's like, man, they could have actually done something good with this.
Well,
and they
that's what I'm
didn't,"
thinking.
You
Yeah.
know,
And that's where I think a lot of people are bringing up like Tom Bombadil. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of areas that Peter Jackson never got to explore that can
Mhm.
still be explored. And some of
Yep.
these actors are still within the range where even if you have to do a little trickery with some, deep faking, you can
Mhm.
still bring in certain characters if you need be. I
Mhm.
mean, and you could do a prequel with like Gollum. There's other things you can do. I'm not saying everything would be great, but I mean, there
Right.
is so much you could explore compared to what they were able to work with on the Rings of Power.
Absolutely.
And,
Uh,
and even Robert Meyer Burnett said that there's still a shit ton of footage that has never been used in the first three films because he worked on all the special features and was on set shooting behind the scenes footage and stuff during the making of those films. And he said he's like, Peter and them, they shot tons and tons of shit
Yay,
that's not even in those editions that
edition.
Mag has there, right? Like that is where he added like a half hour, 45 minutes into each movie. He's like,
Mhm.
there's still at least another hour or better of each movie that he could probably like. I think that there's even stuff of the Scouring of the Shire and stuff that got shot that never got.
Yeah,
used.
there's
Wow,
there's
really?
there's
I'm
gobs
not
of like
100%, but yeah.
stuff.
I remember I was
Like,
upset about that
yeah.
at the time. I was like, man, they should have had the dark ending of
Well,
like
you guys
just-
got to remember they shot these movies for almost like 2-3 years, damn near. It was at least a year and a half, almost.
And
or
they
2
did
years,
it. They
I
did
can't
it back
remember,
to
but, like,
they
yeah,
did it
they did it all at
continuously back to
once.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to finish this up, who would want to follow the stride of Viggo Mortensen's Aragon? We already know how awful it must be to try to replace Kate Blanchett as
Yes!
Galadriel. Indeed, the
Yeah.
rings of power hangs above all of the above all of this like a dark shadow. Wow. From Forbes, guys. Before Amazon's disastrous attempt at televising Middle Earth, fans might have greeted this news with optimism of naive children. Now we grit our teeth and wait for the beating. There is a
Yeah.
glimmer of hope, however dim. Director Peter Jackson might be involved in some way, though that is not confirmed or denied. Warner Brothers and Embracers have kept us in the loop every step of the way. Jackson and Lord of the Rings co-writers Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens said in a statement, "We look forward to speaking with them further to hear their vision for the for the franchise moving forward." That's hopeful, if vague, and really The Hobbit remains a source of a sour spot for me and my opinion of Jackson's filmmaking. Whatever happens, the fact remains that we are once again tapping into the old instead of investing in the new. Our giant media mega corporations relying on the scribblings of a long dead English professor instead of creating something original. The joy of fantasy is in its ability to show us new and beautiful and terrifying worlds, to introduce us to new and exciting characters and magic. How can we ever hope to visit these unfamiliar places if all we ever do is churn out renditions? I think it was a good article. I liked it. Eric Kane.
Yeah.
I get where he's coming from now, but at the same time, you take his satirical point aside, like.
And not only that, but you can't hold, like, Tom, you can correct me because you and Andre have talked about this before, but Peter Jackson isn't wholly responsible for the Hobbits.
No.
Yeah. So there's a lot more story involved with that situation. So he wasn't.
The Hobbit was fostered by Guillermo del Toro. It was meant to be a prequel to the other films, but it was in Guillermo's image, and when he pieced out, Peter Jackson basically had to come in and fill in for him, is what it was. So it wasn't Peter's vision from the start. And again, I don't know if what exactly he would have done differently if he had.
I mean, like for me, I'm kind of like the author in a sense that I'm like, can we just leave it alone? Like, can we just not? Like it's okay. Like let it be. Like it's still really fresh. Like it's not like Lord of the Rings is still I literally watched it a few months ago. Like
the way
last
I
year.
look at it is look at it the same way. Like if somebody was to try and remake the Harry Potter movies, I don't think that would go over well.
No, but they want to.
It doesn't even sound like that. No, it doesn't sound like that whatsoever. It sounds like they're gonna do extension.
If they
want to
do
do
an
extensions
prequel, I think it could be successful.
Yeah.
Honestly, my guess, and this is just me speculating, like with Harry Potter, I think the first thing we're gonna hear about is they're gonna do like a Hogwarts series.
They're supposed to do a Hogwarts Legacy series, I believe. That's
basing it off the game.
But what I mean is they'll actually bring in the older cast as adults, as teachers or whatever.
Well, they've
already generation
been talking about doing the Cursed Child, and all three of the Harry Potter stars are already set to be in it.
Well, that was one thing Zaslav wanted to do. Is he said he wanted to do that as a 2-part movie. And
I didn't know that. The only thing I'm kind of down on though is like the cast. Like, I mean, I like Daniel Radcliffe. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of them are like have fallen into, including Daniel, has fallen into this whole like, oh, we don't like J.K. Rowling because like she's like anti-trans and like, you know, it's like we just can't stand with her, and like even though she made us all rich and we are who we are.
Said, oh, what's this? A bunch of money? Okay.
They're all incredibly rich because of her.
Well, that's just it. We had this conversation the other day. We're like, outside of Radcliffe and a few of them who have a little bit of a career, either behind the scenes or Emma Watts pops up here and there. Most of those kids don't even have a career anymore. So
no,
which one of them can afford to say no to this? And not only that,
Rupert Grint's actually still in stuff. He was in that new Shyamalan movie, and Rupert Grint.
Oh, Rupert, yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah,
wait, who is that? Is that the redhead kid, Ron? Okay,
yeah. He's in 2 M. Night Shyamalan things. He's in that movie. I think it's called is it called Servant on Apple TV?
Yeah. And he's also, isn't he one of the ones that actually supports her though? I thought.
That was
he is
that
the
was
only one I think that hasn't really
Yeah.
said anything. Like he's the only one that's been kind of like
wasn't the
just not gonna say
guy
anything.
who played Malfoy? Didn't he support J.K. Rowling?
I think
I
Tom
can't quite.
I
Felton?
think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
he was the least Malfoy. Like I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's
I know.
he's so
the
He
other-
sweet.
was, and I think what was another recent act? It was another actress, a blonde actress. I can't quite because it's been a while hot minute since I've seen the movies. So I'm sorry, but she recently came out and said something like to the effect of, stop it, y'all. We're just like this is ridiculous.
I know what you're talking about because I've heard that
She was-
recently.
She blonde chick. I can't quite remember.
I don't
She
know.
played wasn't she a Ravenclaw? I think I remember reading.
It-
I
The
don't
girl who
I don't
played
remember.
Luna?
Is it
Yes,
Evan Lynch
Luna.
you're talking
That-
about?
Yeah, I think so. Officially changed her mind. She wasn't so
Oh, I don't-
hateful. Yeah, something like that.
Well, that
Oh.
actually kind of goes along with what I was about to say, because I'm sure a lot of the folks at Warner Brothers could be a look. That's what I was saying, outside of the few people who actually have a career. Like, most of y'all were kids last time we made one of these movies. We could recast you, and most people
Yeah.
would not notice.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so Luna. Now I like her even more. Great.
I have her
But yeah,
wand.
I
I
think
love
most of these
Luna,
kids are
and
gonna play
I'm a
ball.
Ravenclaw.
Yay!
I think these kids are all play ball, even Radcliffe. I don't see why they wouldn't.
I
He doesn't
do
even have that
too.
great of a career yet. I mean, his highlight is playing Weird Al.
I mean, the
What's-
only one that I could
I don't know.
see
He was given
actually
horns.
giving
He
them
does some
problems.
That's the
weird
only other
shit.
movie he has that anybody's ever really talked about, besides that one where he plays a dead dude. But yeah.
He also
I mean, he
had
was in
like
that new Sandra
prison
Bullock
movie.
one.
Is
The
he
new one,
really?
Lost City. He was the villain.
Yeah, yeah,
was just
and
Oh,
last
I didn't
year.
know he was in there.
and then she made a whole stink about how like they should hire him as Wolverine. Did you hear about that? Like they're like
Oh
she
my
was like, who cares about Hugh Jackman? Like you gotta hire like Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine, and everyone was like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
No.
Like
Yeah.
no,
My
I don't
point
think
is,
Daniel
he's not an
Radcliffe.
A-lister.
No,
He's no
No.
A-lister.
He's
though,
not
that's-
he's not buff enough for me in
He's
my opinion
not.
to be able to
No.
fit that role.
he
Because
has
the
Hugh
right
Jackman,
height,
Jackman
Ruffy.
He's
yeah,
the right height, but
Hugh
he's not
Jackman
buff.
has Hugh Jackman like kind of established
was what
like he
most fans'
really
problems were
made
with
that
Jackman.
character.
Was that he was
Mhm.
too tall. Because Wolverine is short.
I
Yeah,
just
people
don't see
forget that.
Daniel Radcliffe even having like hairy chest enough to have a Wolverine thing. Like you need to have like a hairy chest, you know?
Look,
Like
let's be
like,
real.
we're talking
Wolverine
about
should be
Wolverine.
You
Danny
need the 80s
DeVito.
version
End
of
of
Harry Chest,
discussion.
right?
Yeah. What'd you say?
Danny
Noah?
DeVito should be Wolverine. End of discussion. So I took out my claws and I just start snicking.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's too funny. Now, speaking of superheroes, there was this other bit of news that I thought was hilarious. Now, I mean, of course, guys, consider the source. I know the source is not.
Are we
the
going to talk about my
greatest.
husband next?
Yes, yes,
Mr. Handsome.
yes. We're going to talk about all of our collective husbands. My God, Henry Cavill. My goodness.
Mhm.
This dude. I mean, we know what happened. We know that he got fired. I mean, they want to pretend he didn't get fired, but he basically got fired. I mean, come on.
Well, he never really
Yeah.
technically got hired back. I mean, that's the thing.
But I mean, but it was bullshit because they basically teased the fact that he was coming back, and a lot of people
well,
have
he
pissed
made
Black
that
off.
Adam. Yeah.
Mhm.
I was excited
that-
for
he-
whatever was going to come next
I
because
just
of
got to
his
remind
appearance
everybody
at the end of Black Adam.
to
Mhm.
blame The Rock and The Rock's ex-wife.
No, Tom, we want to blame the studios. That's
Go
what,
ahead.
and these people are doing that. We want to blame the studios. Nobody's
right
gonna
ahead.
go sue The Rock, but we can sue Warner Brothers, and possibly the other dude, James Gunn. So DC fans want to sue Warner Brothers for featuring Henry Cavill in Black Adam end credit scene, despite the production company knowing they weren't going to have the actor
Good
return.
luck with this one.
I know, this is crazy.
Yeah,
So
I
the
don't
Snyder
see this
Bros-
getting any traction.
I mean, I don't either, but there's precedence, and that's why it's funny because they talk about how in this article they bring it up too. But like a few months ago, there was a bunch of fans decided to sue like one of the movie studios for like an Ana de Armas. I forget which movie it was.
This was in the UK. It was in the Beatles movie with the kid who wakes up and he lives in a world without the Beatles, but yet he remembers them. Yesterday, that's what it was.
Is that what it was? Okay. And then they decided to sue the studios because they put Ana de Armas in the trailer, but she was cut from the movie. So they were like, we went to this movie to see Ana de Armas and she wasn't in it. So we're suing you. And the judge was like,
that lawsuit. I remember that lawsuit.
and they didn't throw it out.
That law will never take effect here in the US, but I'm not surprised it happened in the UK.
That's interesting. I thought it was in the US. That's weird.
I'm pretty sure it was in the UK. Let me look.
Please look, because I thought it was in the US. So then this goes on. The Snyder Bros are at it again. I like how like they want to just insult like the Snyder Cut fans. That's really funny to me. Oh wait, we're joined by another lovely lady. Hi, Michelle. I mean Natalie.
Hi,
I mean Michelle. No, hi. Hi.
Which one?
Michelle. This is Michelle. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be here. Late, but better late than never.
Yes,
You're fashionably late. It's okay.
I
Exactly.
apologize. You were right. I guess it was in the US. I thought it was in the UK for some
Yay! Which state was it? Do you remember? Do you know?
I'm looking here.
I thought it was California. Was it California?
Yeah, California, which is
Okay.
I'm really surprised that went through.
That's
Exactly.
why it was shocking, and that's why there's
Yeah.
precedence, and that's why this is funny. But
Well,
Michelle,
yes and
before
no.
we go on with this article, I need to know. Let me stop sharing this because this is from the previous article. I need to know if you were a Legolas girl.
Okay.
And wait, what was the human dude's name? Aragorn.
Aragorn.
girl?
Him. It's
Okay.
over.
Okay.
Well,
there's a third one, Gimli.
No one cares about Gimli. I mean, really, was that an option? Did you just
And
put
guys like
Gimli
me
as an
cry a
option,
little bit every
Nina?
time we hear
I didn't
that.
want to judge, just in case. I was like, I don't know what you're into, but just in case. I mean, I was a Legolas. Kara and I were Legolas. You and Mags are Aragorn.
Oh
So,
gosh, Aragorn. Ooh.
yeah. See, and I was saying that recently when I rewatched Lord of the Rings, I was like, that Aragorn. Like,
when you mature, you're like, okay,
yeah.
I'm here for it now. I
Mhm.
see.
Yes, because see, when you watched it, Nina, that was like, I understand Legolas because that was more like that age, but now it's like, ooh, like Aragorn is a man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's exactly it.
That's
Yes.
exactly it. There's a certain points where I was like, oh, my heart is beating really fast. Like, and he's on the screen. I'm like, what is happening right now? Oh, I'm blushing.
There's
Especially when
some
he
like
opens up the door.
Instagram edits of him walking in and girls like reacting and losing their mind. Like there's reels. They're pretty funny.
Oh my
Especially when he
God.
walks in the doors and
Yes,
Helm's
that one.
Deep and he goes like this and he's like, whoa.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
whoa.
God, what a great scene.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom. This just became hardcore toxic.
Well,
for
which
you.
one is Tom? Is Tom
Gimli. Tom picked Gimli.
Nah, I picked them all. It don't matter. I just said men
He's a
like me cried a
Sauron
little bit
guy.
because I look closest to Gimli. It's like,
Oh. Without the beard, you need like a
You'll
very
have to
long
touch
beard.
me.
God, I love that scene. Okay. So then Snyder Bros are at it again. Fans of DC's previous movie universe, or Snyderverse as many call it, want to sue Warner Bros. Discovery, citing that the appearance of Henry Cavill as Superman and Black Adam after credit scenes as is false advertising. It was false advertising. We were promised the Man of Steel. This is bullshit. Then, and I'm not even a Snyder Cut person. I don't even like Snyder Cut. The studio used him and us. It's time for a lawsuit. Hope we have lawyers in our fandom. Don't think Henry Cavill will sue WBD, even though he has the evidence. Oh, shit. Hope some lawyers can advise us if fans can sue WD for fans false advertising. There was another funny article.
They didn't advertise anything. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
exactly.
There was another funny article that talked about how apparently James Gunn like fired back at a couple of these people that were super pissed because they kept misspelling Henry Cavill's name with like one L. So he was like, it'd be nice if you knew how to spell the guy's name if you're so passionate about it.
Right? Oh shit.
And these people can barely spell.
Well, going back to what we originally said, that's the thing is the studio didn't announce anything. It was Henry Cavill.
Mhm.
Yeah, he had that video back in October or something?
That's what I'm talking about. That was his
Yes.
announcement. He did that on his Instagram.
But the presumption, Tom, was
Yeah.
that he had heard from the studios, and he even said in his video, "I have been cleared to tell you this from
Yes,
the
yeah.
studios."
Yes.
So that was the thing. Like, it's not like he just went and did it by himself. It's like he was told, he was given the clear by the studios to do it. And this article brings something else up too, which we will get to. So someone recently sued a movie studio for misleading movie trailer. I think it's time to sue Warner Bros. Blah, blah, blah. The new Snyderverse triad has drawn criticism from other directions, with several DC fans calling Zack Snyder devotees out on their lunacy. This chick calling this dude stupid. And then the very idea of suing over an after credits scene, commonly referred to as a stinger, is laughable on the surface. Stingers have been around since the 1960s, and the majority of them went unfulfilled until Marvel era of cinema. Several box office bombs like Masters of the Universe, Street Fighter, and the live-action Super Mario Bros. Movies teased sequels that would never end up being made after post-credit scenes finished rolling. So again, like some screenshots of people like calling these people stupid. So why would DC fans abandon Snyderverse ever think that the lawsuit over a 2-minute Henry Cavill video could be possible, never mind probable? Well, it's actually down to DC's own fault for setting a precedent with Zack Snyder's Justice League, aka the Snyder Cut, when Warner Bros. Gave into a small but extremely vocal section of DC fans. They opened a Pandora's box of potential retcons and director's cuts based on the demands of angry cult of toxic fans. You toxic Snyder fans. This is the kind of admission that leads to massive lawsuits, and Henry Cavill should sue, blah, blah, blah. And this is what the last one is that's interesting. So why the fuck did you have Cavill come back as Superman knowing you were doing the reboot? Y'all must have known from the jump. And James Gunn saying I was hired to write Superman Legacy over 6 months ago. So he knew about that.
And this is what I've been trying to say, and this is what I know about my part. And this is why when it was one of the few times when Grace Randolph come out and said, "So, just so you know, Henry Cavill hasn't signed anything." And everybody's like, "Oh, it's got to be bullshit. It's got to be bullshit." I said, "Well, technically he hasn't." And I kept trying to tell people that. He hasn't signed anything yet.
I don't think he signed. I didn't think he signed, but he was told that, you're basically back.
He could announce he was back in the Black Adam film. That's what he was told. The rest of it, more than likely, came from Danny Garcia or The Rock pressuring him, and we've learned more about that now with The Rock shenanigans behind the scenes. And again, so let it go to court, and that's all Warner's defense is going to basically be like, look, this is what it is. You're suing the wrong people.
Yep.
Like, at the end of the day, we gave them the okay to say, yes, Henry Cavill was back in this movie. And granted, like I was hearing at that time, had Black Adam made $1 billion, we'd be having a different conversation right now.
Exactly.
But it didn't.
Yeah.
And they knew going into the weekend it wasn't going to happen. And that's why they went and made the deal with James Gunn, and it was all announced and everything like that. So, yeah, it's just, look, I get where people are coming from. I felt kind of shitty about it, too. So I'm like, well, that's pretty shitty to do to the fans.
And to Cavill.
And to Cavill at the end of the day. And
because he enjoyed playing that character. So.
And you could kind of see how it played out because he fired Danny. He did fire her. And this to me was her trying to get him back to work, for her to work for him. But he had already moved on to somebody else. His current girlfriend got him the Warhammer deal in the meantime.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what it sounds like what happened is he fired her over this bullshit.
I think he got screwed over, dude. I think he
I'm
still
not saying
got
Henry's
screwed over.
the innocent bystander in this whole thing. Yes.
Yeah. He got screwed over, and I can see why a lot of like this, especially the Snyder Cut people are pissed off. I can see it, but like I said, I fucking didn't even like the Snyderverse, and I'm like, fuck you for not giving us Henry Cavill. And now we're hearing about, like, I actually heard, like, there's rumors about how, like, James Gunn said that he's making Superman in his 30s, so it's not even like he's doing a young Superman. And Henry Cavill could have played a Superman in his 30s. I mean, come fucking on, like give
I
me a
heard
break.
late 20s, early at most 30. Well, here's the thing: if he's going with the traditional Superman went into the Fortress of Solitude and didn't come out until he was 30. So like that's kind of how it works. So that might be what it is, because that's what he said is it's Superman fresh to Metropolis. So
yeah,
be a very young Superman. But yeah,
or it could be what Gary from Nerdrotic thinks, like because it is called Superman Legacy, and legacy usually means that Superman's gone or whatever for whatever reason, like he's not
It's
there
a passing
anymore.
of the torch.
Yeah,
I
it's like
don't
that.
think so.
Like, or it could be that. I mean,
I'm not
who
saying
knows?
he's
We'll find out.
wrong, but I just don't see.
I mean,
He
I
even
just don't
said
even.
no. He already said it was Clark Kent, so that's not true. Then it can't
Yeah.
be Jonathan Kent.
I don't know if this suit is going to go through, but it would be funny if it did. It's like a lawsuit, and I think it's funny if they sue over this. I will laugh. I will watch if it's live. I will watch it. I mean, that's just funny. But there's also another suit that's funny, and that's this, Tom. And you can probably talk on this a little bit. South
down to
Park
South Park?
lawsuit. Yeah, Warner Bros. Discovery sues Paramount for $500 million.
So this is going to happen, huh?
So even though South Park skirted out of a lawsuit for Meg and Harry, and Harry learned real quick that American law sucks. Did you see his comment on that?
Yeah, American law sucks. Well, then why did you come here?
No, I
Like,
didn't
you can
hear.
go
I
back
didn't hear that.
anytime.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But now
I
they
didn't hear that.
deny they ever even thought about going after him, which is bullshit. But anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Okay, so this is kind of a convoluted thing, and Warner is kind of in the right here. So this actually starts back years ago. Comedy Central and the Comedy Channel. There was two separate channels at one time. Then they combined. Comedy Central was owned by Warner Brothers. The Comedy Channel was owned by Paramount. But then they became a 50-50 ownership thing, kind of like what they did with UPN and the WB when it became the CW. So this was like a joint venture between the two. South Park became a thing in 1997. And it was the biggest hit that Comedy Central had ever had, hands down. So it was technically co-owned by Warner Brothers and Paramount. Years later, they made a deal with Paramount to sign over the rights to the second film and its sequels so that they could get in on Interstellar, because Paramount was producing Interstellar and Warner didn't like other people playing with their children. So Christopher Nolan being this individual, obviously. So they made this deal with Paramount that they got Jason from Friday the 13th back for 5 years, which they did absolutely nothing with.
Tom, you got to speak up a little bit.
Yeah,
So
speak
low.
into the mic.
Jason back. Is it doing it again?
Yeah.
You got to kiss the mic.
All right. I'm gonna
Just
do
make
this.
love
This
to the mic.
I'm gonna make it 100, and this is the most I can do, guys. This is 200. This is as loud as I can make it. I am
This is
so
good.
sorry.
No, it's good.
There's nothing else I can do.
It's better.
Okay, so they made this deal for the sequels. They gave the sequel rights to Paramount from there on out. So like the movies, right? Paramount's like, okay, cool. Hulu had the exclusive streaming rights to South Park for like 5 years. That ended like last year or the year before. I can't remember which. So then HBO Max got the rights from there on out to stream the show. Paramount got the bright idea to make the specials, which they considered movies.
Oh.
And those movies were on Paramount Plus, creating confusion between customers of where they go to watch South Park, because the thing is that I think Warner's going to have to stand on here is Trey and Matt treat those movies as seasons of the show. You have to see those shows to know what the fuck is going on technically. Like it's, it's an ongoing thing. So I think Warner's going to win this case. They are basically stating that Paramount is using, even because they paid a lot of money to make sure that they had their part. They paid Paramount off to make sure they had the exclusive rights to South Park on HBO Max, from my understanding. And in that contract, that's where they're being, between that and the other thing. So they're trying to claim that they're using the sequel loophole to show them on Paramount Plus. That's why the COVID special and the streaming special were on Paramount Plus.
See, that was so confusing to me too, and that makes
Yeah.
sense. I think you're right. I think they're gonna win. But I thought it was funny because there's a lot of lawsuits. This was another one. So
Hold on.
Uh,
So did Harry and Meghan truly try to sue over the South Park episode?
They threatened, I
Depends on who
think.
you ask.
that was a rumor. Some of the people like in the what's it called in the like close to the royals like rejected it, like they said like that's not the case, but other people close to the royals said like she was completely devastated and she refuses to watch the episode. So like god knows, like maybe, like I have no idea if it was or not, but there wasn't
Because
an
of
actual
Harry's
suit
comment
filed.
on America Law, I think they did.
Yeah,
I
well,
think they wanted
so.
to.
You guys, where did you get the? I didn't see his comment. Where?
Yeah,
did you
I
get
didn't
the-
see
I
that
don't remember.
either.
I'll try and find it here.
Okay.
Please
Yeah.
pull that up because that sounds hilarious, and why aren't we
Yeah.
talking about
Well,
it?
because he already made his comments about the First Amendment, free speech.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
So
god.
it'll
Yeah,
just
he
be
was-
funnier to
That's
me
what
if
it
he
was. Oh,
continues-
was it before this?
Oh yes, that was
Oh,
like
okay. They
months and months ago.
sorry. Then they repurposed it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought it was about
Oh.
this.
Yeah, where
Okay.
he says that the First Amendment is bonkers.
Oh, I didn't know he said that. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he-
the quote I'm talking about. But I thought that was associated with this because I thought somebody asked him that, and they were like denying ever wanting to do it. But then that was his response.
I want to say he was on like a podcast. Maybe he was on Dax Shepard's podcast. It was a while ago, and he made that comment. Yeah, it's been months and months since he said that.
Hmm.
So I,
Oh,
that's
I
why was
believe they
wondering if he
they
said something
wanted to.
else.
I think I
I
remember
totally
something like
believe
that
it.
too. Now that you say that, like it's coming back to me now. That dude says so many dumb things. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Fuck it,
yeah.
whatever.
No, but I
you could
totally
be right that
believe-
that got recycled around because I don't.
They
I'm,
always do. They always
I'm looking
recycle
it up
shit.
and it's like I don't see
Yeah.
it recently, but I remember.
I see now
yeah.
it's from June of last year or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
But he
No,
does-
and
he still
I
made a dumb
believe-
comment.
I believe they wanted to, but I'm sure one of their lawyers is like, yeah, you can't sue that.
Yeah, I mean, how do you sue South Park?
I
Like
know.
satire. You can't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And you're public
funny.
figures. You're fucked.
It's like maybe
Um,
if you didn't ask for attention so much. Oh,
yeah, maybe they wouldn't have made a freaking
We
episode
want to
about you.
privacy.
Wait, that I promise that. Wait, that I promise that.
Wait, Tom. So where do you watch South Park now? Which streaming services is it on?
Actual episodes, the 30-minute episodes are on
Yeah.
HBO Max or Comedy Central if you want to watch them when they actually premiere
Okay.
on an actual
That is
network.
that's such a good question.
But the
But it is
specials,
confusing.
like the COVID special and the Streaming Wars special, are on Paramount Plus.
Okay, so the
So-
Meghan and Harry episode will be on HBO Max.
HBO Max.
HBO
yeah.
Max, yeah. Yeah. I gotta watch.
And they took last
the-
week
I need
off,
to
or
watch
this
them
week, I mean.
too.
But,
Oh,
Yeah.
you gotta watch. I hadn't watched. See, that was another Streisand effect thing. I hadn't watched South Park in like I don't know how long. It's been like 20 years. I watched
Mhm.
one that fucking Tom told me about, which was I think the woke episode, and then I watched like years ago. I watched like the Game of Thrones one because at the time I was like really into Game of Thrones, and I don't watch any other ones. And then I watched the Meghan and Harry one because I was like, nah, I gotta see this. Like, this is hilarious. But that's what happens with the Streisand effect. And the only reason I watched it is because I found out that Meghan was like crying about it. And I was like, I gotta see this then. Fuck yeah. But yeah, let's go to some super chats because we have some amazing people that are sending us some money to support the channel. So thank you, everybody.
Yay,
Um,
money.
Yay! Mr. Tickle Trunk gave send us a member. Oh no, this is the member message. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk, for letting us know about the member chat from Zax, who's been a member for 18
yeah,
months.
I just
Minimum effort
found out
hubby.
and realized, I should say, that we're on the wrong channel.
Are we?
That's why
Yeah.
when I saw the
Oh.
link initially and I saw that it was Midnight's Edge After Dark, I was like, wait a minute, isn't this supposed to be Midnight's Edge?
I was kind of wondering why we're
Oh,
like, why
yikes.
is nobody here? Like, we
That's
should have
fine.
like at least 100 more people than this. What is going? I'm glad this many people found us.
Yay!
The normies
so-
have found us.
So we're on your channel, Tom?
Yeah,
We
we're
are on
Tom's
my
channel.
channel right now. I'm so sorry. This is going to get rebroadcast on the main channel. I don't see it. So Andre
God,
will
you're
go put
such
it
a
up on the main
boomer.
channel, and I am so sorry. Six, yes, is the one who brought it to my attention.
You're
Wow.
welcome. Thank you, Six. Six for the win.
God damn, Tom, you're such a boomer tonight. I love it. I love it. This is
It's a Monday. It's okay.
Yeah.
Tom, are you
Yep.
having a case of the Mondays?
He is.
I
At least you're getting some
Boomer.
subs. That's good.
maybe I haven't checked.
See, the coconut says, yeah, I just subbed. So there you go.
Oh, well, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. See, it's
There you
working.
go.
It's all good in the end.
There you
I feel like a
see, maybe
complete
people are think you're
moron.
drunk.
I think
It's
it's like-
okay. It's
I'm not as
totally
thick as
fine.
I drunk he is.
Speaking
Aw.
of drunk, what do you guys say about Woody Harrelson's performance? Was he on SNL? His monologue, was he high, drunk, or both?
Oh, he
Both.
is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that means he's
100%.
probably started
All of
smoking
the
again.
all the
which
above.
is
Mhm.
funny
Okay,
'cause
so
Well,
he
he
gave it
made
up
a
for
joke
while.
about his manager smuggling weed from California. So
Oh, I didn't hear the whole thing. I only
Oh,
heard
yeah.
the part he made
Yeah, because I
about.
don't think it's legal in New York yet.
it's not.
Is it? I
Mm-mm.
didn't think so.
And like he named him and they showed him in the crowd.
No.
Oh
Oh
my
my
I watched
god.
it yesterday.
That's hilarious. Yet,
I know
you
he
know,
quit for a while,
this
but he
is-
must have
this is
started
true.
again. Yeah.
I
I
gotta
mean-
say though,
Woody Harrelson is also the guy who showed up with no shoes on to like a movie event, like a screening event.
he always takes his shoes off. He's weird with his shoes. Like I just saw his feet, his ugly ass feet on Bill Maher's like podcast because he's just like I'm just gonna take off my shoes, and he was just like sitting there. I was gonna do it, and then I realized my feet are nice, and people are gonna screenshot this, so I'm not gonna do it. But he
Yeah,
was
don't
just
do it.
like sitting cross-legged, and like his foot was like right in the mic, and I was like, damn, like that's hardcore feet cam there.
Yeah.
But it was funny. Dark King, thank you so much for the $2. Says Toxic Femme Lord of the Rings equals wedding bells. What?
What is that in reference
Who
to?
are we marrying for Lord of the Rings?
I think we were, maybe when we were discussing Aragorn versus Legolas versus Gimli.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe?
I'm getting me some Aragorn.
Yeah, they were calling us out in chat for how thirsty we were. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I am not ashamed. So-
Yeah, I mean, who's not thirsty for Aragorn? Like,
I
if you're a heterosexual female, like you find him attractive.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, girls, let's make this a little even spicier. Aragorn, like prime, okay, prime
Okay,
Aragorn,
I'm Aragorn.
Yep.
prime Henry Cavill Superman. Go.
Oh,
Cavill.
no.
Well, I mean,
Hands
yeah,
down,
I mean,
Cavill.
yeah, you know, I
but
can't
Henry
go away
Cavill's
from
a
Cavill.
super nerd. So that's just
this
like
is
an
true.
extra layer to
This
it.
is this is true. This is true. What
I will
about you?
die on that hill.
What about you, Megs? Aragorn
Uh,
Prime or
I
Henry Cavill Prime?
Oh, this is hard.
That's what
That
she
was-
said.
No,
that
it's
was
not.
That's what she said. Yes. Because my original favorite super nerd was Christopher Reeve as Superman. So
Oh, he was so
Ooh.
handsome.
So
so it's
handsome.
so if you really want to go the dork route, that's where it's at.
Wow.
But I would say Aragorn. I don't know. There's something about him with his rugged looks and taking on
Ooh.
armies and heading, leading battles and everything. I don't know. That is
And
something
he's just a
sexy about
human.
that.
He's just a human
I
man.
mean, even
Yeah.
over shirtless Cavill and Man of Steel, whenever he's walking
I mean,
out of
I'm
the
not gonna lie,
water and going to get a shirt.
Henry Cavill's really good looking, but he's got those short arms.
Megs, Booter, God
I
damn
have
it.
short arms. We're not
Get out.
perfect, guys.
You kick her out. I know you
I
got that
hate
from
nobody.
freaking Nick Ricada, okay? And I will not have that brainwashing going on in this channel. Even though
I'm sorry.
even
I'm
though
sorry.
Tom's
Ricada
channel-
has radicalized me.
I'm having too much fun to be kicking anybody out. So.
Oh my god. Go ahead, Carrie. You want to read this one?
Well, yeah. They could do the new Shadows set 300 years after the Return of the King. Tolkien written enough, you could finish that book. Thank you, Adam Wofford, for the $5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I
you're
said,
right.
they could do sequels technically.
They
I don't
could.
see why
Yeah.
not.
It's just as we've seen how, as long as Amazon doesn't get their hands on anything else, I think it could be successful. Because I mean, we've seen how Amazon likes to adapt shows or books into shows. I mean, we've seen Lord of the Rings, and then we've seen Wheel of Time,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
I'm tired of them butchering stuff just
Mhm.
to it's just
Yeah, and then interestingly, when they had the source material for Game of Thrones, HBO did really well with Game of Thrones until they didn't have the source material anymore.
yeah.
And they also did, Kara and I were talking about this, they just did his Dark Materials and they did it really well.
They did so
So-
good with his Dark Materials.
HBO, I mean, like that's where it's at. I think if you're gonna do adaptations, I would definitely like, you know, I think
I'd go
HBO 's where it's at
HBO,
right now.
definitely.
Mhm.
I mean, look at
Mhm.
Last of Us. The Last of Us
Mm.
has been surprisingly good.
I haven't watched it, so I can't tell you.
Well-
I can't give you my opinion on that. But
A lot of people are like, oh, like they're going woke because this last episode with Ellie in
Mhm.
the mall, but that was DLC in the game. Like,
oh,
so,
well, I've heard
like,
it's really good. I haven't
it
watched
is a good episode. I didn't know how I felt about Bella Ramsey whenever she first got cast, but the girl is talented. She's
Oh.
very
Oh.
talented.
So I have a question, since we are talking about basically people being successful when they have solid source material to go with
Mhm.
and they're faithful to that source material.
Mhm.
So as a Star Wars fan and someone we all know that, you know, it's just kind of blah at this point right
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
I want everyone here and even the chat, if in the next year or so Kathleen Kennedy goes on to retirement and they were to faithfully adapt like Knights of the Old Republic, would that interest people? Like, are you already just so done with it that even would it do it, or would you be like, oh, okay, no, this is really good?
I think
Mm.
for me, in my opinion, they need to let Star Wars rest a little bit, because then it
Yeah,
would be too
definitely.
recent off the
Agreed.
heels of all of this very mediocre and for me, quite frankly, disrespectful content towards Star Wars in general and the
I
audience.
agree.
So
Agreed.
I almost feel like you need to wait 5 to 10 years to even let it simmer down, let it cool down, let new folks come in who are actually are respectful and care for what George Lucas created, and be able to work with that. But it's hard to tell, because a lot of time, right now we feel a little burned. We feel like we've been that abused animal, and we don't know how it feels when even some little good comes along, and we're just like, wait, what? We flinch. So it's
Megs, you really hit the nail for me, because right now I'm really done with Star Wars. Like, I'm fucking done. Like, I could
Like,
not.
I'm not
care
even
less.
excited about the Mandalorian.
I could
Which starts
give
like
a
what, next
shit.
week?
Yeah,
Yes,
something
I
like
this
that.
week
loved
there's
the
no
first season.
Wednesday.
I loved the first
This
season.
week. Wow.
And it's not even that, but there's not even very, I don't know whether and not to go further down the rabbit hole here, but have you seen a whole lot of PR or advertisement for this? I haven't seen as much as
No.
I used
I
to.
I
haven't
have on
seen
Twitch a
anything.
lot.
Okay.
Oh.
I've been seeing it on Twitch.
No,
Okay.
Tom and the guys brought that up today on their show, and I think they kind of hit that maybe Disney just doesn't want to spend the money because they're like so bad
They're
off.
broke.
Yeah,
They're
they're
broke
broke.
Yeah,
as
they are
fuck.
broke.
But Megs, just going on to your point though, like especially for feeling like, oh my God, I've been so hurt. That's how I really feel about Picard season 3 right now. So like I hear like everyone I know is saying Picard season 3 is really fucking good. Watch it. And I still can't bring myself to go watch it, because I've just been so hurt by the franchise and by like so many of the actors that like hate me as a person. And I'm like, do I really need to do I really want to like give these people my time? They all hate me. Like, why
And
am
not
I
only
watching this?
and not only that, but the actors and the people, not Picard in general, but just what we've been witnessing the last several years of all of this nonsense. It's not only that, but it's not in real life that the actors and people behind the scenes that hate us. It's also they're projecting even in their entertainment that they hate us. So it's kind
Yes.
of like you can't even escape from it. You can't even separate the art from the artist anymore, because they
That-
put it in
I'm-
there.
I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time doing it. And I keep telling myself, like, okay, Nina, today's the day. You're gonna try Picard season 3. And I like literally I go to press play and I'm like, Nope, can't do it. Like I just can't do it. And I have a weird block, and I know like I have to get over it at some point and just watch the damn thing. But like it's just I feel hurt, and I think a lot of Star Wars fans feel like that right now. Maybe not so many, not a lot of the normies, but like really like diehard fans, I think, are feeling that. So I don't know if KK leaving is going to be the be all end all for a lot of the Star Wars fans. I think like there needs to be what you said, time, and B, they need to produce good things,
Yeah, good
several good
content.
things. Yeah, and then
They need to prove themselves for one, but they also need to purge the people that are also causing this disaster. It's not just KK,
Yes.
it's her minions.
Everything. It's
Yes.
Proud
It's
Family,
the minions. Get the
Willow.
minions out.
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It
we
is
had this question this
everything. It
morning
is
about
all
Marvel.
across, like between She-Hulk and Proud Family and Willow,
Yep.
and everything.
Everything needs to go. Everything needs to go. Yeah.
So many things, especially in Disney. Like
because
Disney
it's
needs
like
a
a-
clean house.
It's like a poison. It
It's a
seeps
little
through.
cult.
Yeah, it's a poison that seeps
Well-
through, and you can't get rid of it because it's like killing a cancer. You have to like get it all out,
Yep.
or else it's
Mhm.
going to continue to keep infecting the rest of the body.
That's
So
exactly what I
that's-
said this morning. Actually, Meg, that's funny because we
Oops,
had the same
that's-
question. Only no, it's great because like it's actually
Great
the only thing
minds.
was difference was the only difference was we were talking about Marvel instead. But that's what I had said. This is now permeated the entire company, and what had sparked this conversation was after DeSantis signed the bill, they had released some excerpts from his upcoming book, and in the book he talks about Chapek reaching out to him, and Chapek flat out saying what we had been reporting, and that is there is two factions in this company. He wanted to take the company away from the fucking politics, but there was too many loudmouth, whatever you want to put in there, like people that got,
yapping dogs.
Exactly the same kind of people who got Kara fired here, basically within the company,
Mhm.
right? And those type
I mean-
of people were the ones that pushed for this stupid shit that got them in this position in the first place. But
Do we
They're the
think
ones that-
any of those people will be some of the layoffs?
I hope so.
That's
That'd be
the
great.
only way, things would get better.
Purge the very low quality crowd that's causing usually the ones who are speaking out the loudest or projecting the most are usually the ones that have low quality to begin with, because true
Mhm.
people who actually want to produce something good
And put in
put-
the work.
put in the work. Exactly. They obviously, these people who've been screaming the loudest don't have enough work to do, or they don't do work at all. So it's
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones that pushed out Gina Carano, by the way. So
Yep.
All true. All true. So the next super chat here, you want to get this one, Mags?
sure. Thank you, Sith Holocron, who gives us $2. I want the Blue Wizards and Shadow games. I think he's talking about the Lord of the Rings games from
Oh.
several years ago. So I think Sith Holocron, you can correct me, but yeah, I think
I think he is.
wanting them to come out. And I think Steam has some of the games on there too, I think. But yeah.
Cool. And then Michelle, you want to get this one?
Yes. Christian, I'm going to botch the last name.
Moralejo.
Okay, there we go. With the $10 super chat, what could be neat is exploring Lord of the Rings world outside of Middle Earth. Maybe the following, the Blue Wizards. You can introduce different cultures and creatures without changing the original cast and story.
That sounds good. Just don't make it for a modern audience,
Yeah.
man. I don't want to see like fucking I don't know, whatever the hell Rings of Power was. I just don't want to see that. Like just
Right.
make it good and I'll be fine.
I just couldn't start. I couldn't even bring myself to start the show.
Yeah, I didn't watch the show.
I got 20 minutes in.
Don't
As soon
don't
That was me with
as,
Wheel of Time. I never
Yeah.
I never even watched. I never even read the Wheel of Time, but my husband did. So I know like the gist of the story.
Mhm.
And
I know some
got
people who
15
might want
minutes
to talk
in.
to you.
Yeah, I heard from a lot of people that was just fucking awful.
I tried 15 minutes of it, and I was just like, I already I don't even know what's going on, and I don't like this. Like I'm bored
Oof.
out of my mind
Carolyn, I know a bunch of Wheel of Time fans. In fact, it's called the White Cloaks, and they rip into that show like it's nobody's business. And
Good.
I'm sure they would love to
Shame
talk
them.
to you.
Then
Yeah.
shame them.
Yes, shame them. They do it on the regular. So yeah, it hurt the Wheel of Time fans too. It's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I couldn't do it. Like,
Yeah.
and I love Sanderson. Like, I know Robert Jordan, of course, did the beginnings of it, and then Sanderson came in and finished it after Jordan died. But it's just, I don't know.
No, I
Did
got
they-
20 minutes into Rings of Power. The moment they had Elrond sitting in a tree doing poetry,
You're like, I'm out.
I
like,
lost it.
fuck it.
I think I lost it when it was her Guy Ladriel riding the horse in the slow-mo
Oh
scene.
my god,
And I literally lost
get
it.
that
I think I
far.
was done.
girl, that was like the one time she smiled too.
And she smells like
She
I'm
was
like,
like,
look, I rode horses. Let me tell you, you don't look like that when you're riding a
Mm-mm.
horse. No, not at full canter. And even I think
No.
even that horse even looked a little like, what is this chick doing?
yeah, that the horse was like, girl, you're enjoying me way too much. Like, you're no. Wha- oh, I was trying to find that clip.
was gonna say,
Tom, like,
Nina,
the
that's
fuck
what
this
she
shit, I'm
said.
out, but I can't find it. I know.
Oh, I might have deleted it. Let me look here. I should have had it.
And
right.
I saw you hesitating. I was like, oh no, she knew it.
No, I was trying to find the fuck this shit, I'm out clip, but I
I
couldn't
think
find
it's
it.
been deleted.
Oh, okay. Well, here's another
Oh, no,
one.
here it is.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, that
I love it.
that's Kara to fucking what's it called? Tom.
Everything.
Yeah, Tom to Rings of Power, me to Picard, all of it, and like fucking anything Star Wars.
Yeah, all of it.
God, all of
The
it.
all modern day media
Alright.
that likes to go a certain direction.
All
I'm
of
still
it is
not
bad.
100% on board with Picard, but I understand why a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I have to watch it at some point, I think, but I'm just like, no, I don't know. I'm being weird. Tom, you want to get this one?
I can. Mrs. Tickle Trunk or Ms. Mix.
It's
Trunk?
Mr. Tickle Trunk.
He didn't actually change his name for once. Usually he puts Ms.
Yeah, he
and a bunch of
usually
X's in
does.
there and all that business. Why does nobody think Cavill left on his own after being borked over at WB? His Warhammer deal wasn't overnight, too. That was his next big thing anyway.
I just know
Um,
how much Cavill loved the Superman role.
Yeah,
He was so passionate about it.
I
Like,
mean,
between Superman and Geralt, like, the guy's a mega nerd who loves source material.
Mhm. Dude, I just remember like his actual like video when he announced he's coming back as
Mhm.
Superman,
Yeah,
and
that was
like
back in October. Yeah.
like there's no fucking way he would have fucking left on his own. Like he
Mm-mm.
loved Superman. He loved like making that video on how happy he was that he was like, I'm coming back as Superman. Like it was like as if he was waiting to say that to everybody for so long. And then like so I just don't I don't think he would have left on his own.
Yeah, I would say to that, and maybe Tom may know better than I would say that maybe he had Warhammer kind of working on the back, like in the back burner, because he didn't really know that the Superman thing was going to happen. And had he
Mhm.
got to choose, he would have picked Superman.
Well,
One
I
of the-
think I also think The Witcher played a part too because he was on his last legs with like his patience with The Witcher and the Netflix
Yeah.
crew. So he was like, you know what, whether like Superman works out great, if it doesn't, then Warhammer will work out great, you know, and it just kind of like all of it happened at the same time. But he was going to walk away from The Witcher regardless. Like that's the one he really walked away from was The Witcher.
Yeah,
Because they
because
fucked
he was
him over
getting
there.
he was getting so like he doesn't outright say it, but you could just tell that the passion for it that he had whenever he originally came out and said that he was going to be doing The Witcher, like it was completely gone.
They killed it. Like
They
killed
did.
it.
And
There
like
was a
I
lot of
am
people-
a die-hard Witcher fan.
Same.
Like
Mhm.
really like my whole wall is all Witcher behind me.
Mhm.
So like Cavill as Geralt was like a dream come
So
true to
good.
me.
Yes.
And whenever they just
Mhm.
butchered the script, butchered the story, I was pissed. So I can only imagine how somebody who has read the books as many times as him and who was like, they're even like comments from other people in the cast are like, oh, well, he was quoting like this page and this line and this, how we should do this. And they were getting frustrated with him over it. I'm like, no, like that's somebody who loves what they do and loves the source material.
You know, he's kind of like our modern day Sir Christopher Lee, because Christopher Lee was a really big Tolkien fan and met Tolkien and was on even Peter Jackson's case on source material and the adaptations. So yeah.
Like the source material is what gets these stories so famous and what makes people want to have these adaptations made. And whenever you don't like at least attempt to follow the source material, you're slighting the people who are giving you a reason to make this into a show or a movie in the first place. And that pisses people off.
Yep.
It does.
Now, as far as the Cavill thing goes, I know a lot of people speculated that he left The Witcher to go back to Superman. I think if anything, he left The Witcher because he knew he had Warhammer.
Yeah,
he's a big Warhammer fan.
And
So I
people forget that
if they give him power in Warhammer, he's gonna do right by it.
Agreed.
Exactly.
And also he has Highlander on the way too eventually.
Oh yeah, that's right. And he's
Oh.
got the other thing too, Mass Effect.
Oh wait.
That's also
What?
happening.
Okay.
Yeah, because Mass Effect is like he landed that a while ago. And he kind of like alluded to being Shepard, which we all know he's gonna be Shepard.
Yeah.
But like, because there's no one like who else is he gonna be? But he is also signed up to do that. Lyle, thank you so much for the $20. That is so generous. Hello, ladies, especially my good friend Mags.
Hi,
How
Lyle.
is everyone tonight? I'm really excited for the Lord of the Rings movies. Also, how can you call Rings of Power bad? I loved it. At least the first 5 episodes. The 6 turned me off, but I liked parts of it. Oh, Lyle. I don't know what to say.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Lyle.
Yeah, to each their own.
It's funny because I do know Lyle. I'm in a group chat and everything, and everybody has their own opinion on what they enjoy the most and what they find positivity from it. Everyone of course has their own opinions. They are entitled to them. So Lyle, I'm glad you found some sort of a happiness and joy out of that show. You were seeing all that heat in the group chat, but he's a good dude, so he took it well. Yeah,
That's okay.
Yeah.
There's some like I've heard a couple people like that actually enjoyed it. I mean, one of them was Lofty, mind you. He's a contrarian most of the time. But like there's some people that like it, and you like what you like. And there's no judgment. I mean, I personally thought it was the worst thing ever made, like one of the worst things ever made. But I mean, it's just like that. That's just what it is, like it is what it is. And no
The thing
disrespect.
I heard about it was that the story was shit, but it was pretty.
I didn't even think it was pretty, dude. It
Really?
was, it was
looked
so
cheap.
bad. It was
looked
so cheap. It was so cheap. Like if it was pretty,
That's
at
what
least
bothered
we
me
would say
too,
there
yeah.
was that. Like
They spent so much money to have T-shirts looking like chainmail.
yeah,
I saw that.
yeah,
What I
and
don't
like
get
They
is all the
bragged
corners.
about spending
Oh.
all this money.
and the green screen stuff was so badly done. Like there was like a lot of it just looked really cheap. I just didn't enjoy it. But I'm glad somebody did. Thank God somebody did.
Sorry we sat here and shat on it.
Yeah, sorry.
It's-
But not really because I fucking hate that show.
But
Okay.
Lyle's a good. Lyle's a
Wait,
good
wait,
dude,
go back.
though.
No, Tom. No.
What'd I do?
There was a couple super chats that we hadn't gotten.
okay,
Let me
okay.
go back. It's
I
okay.
got him. Nope. I got him.
Fix it, Tom.
Thank you for
I'm
being
fixing
here,
it.
Lyle. Appreciate you.
Let's start. from
There we
the bottom
go. There we go. You want to get this one, Kara?
Yeah, John Thomas with the $10. Amazon F's up even with source material. Look at Wheel of Time. Also, Star Wars would have to adapt Thrawn trilogy accurately and fire Darth Kennedy before I'm back.
So that's his
I think it's a lot of.
term.
That's
Yeah,
the
there's a-
terms.
Yeah.
The terms.
That's a lot of ifs. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I
don't
need time.
trust Amazon anymore.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
Amazon has had some good stuff. Like there are some like genuinely good shows on Amazon. Like I've just recently got a friend into watching Tell Me Your Secrets, which is great, but it's also not a fantasy novel.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Amazon does pretty good with following novels. Say like Bosch was really good. Jack Ryan's been pretty good.
Jack Ryan was good. Yeah.
Yes, people liked what was the show that Chris Pratt did on Amazon?
Terminal.
List.
Yeah, Terminal List.
That so they do pretty good with that type of material because all those were books, but they don't.
But those are all Tom Clancy.
Yes, they don't seem to do good with fantasy.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, no, they don't. The fantasy is where they're lacking,
and that's where the money is. At least I feel like that's where the money
because
is.
like Tolkien is so in vogue now. Like his like
nerds
so
buy
popular.
merch. Nerds buy merch. Nerds collect. That
True.
is where a lot of like the merchandising money comes from, is the nerds.
Whether it be comic books,
appeal to
toys.
the nerds,
Yep.
you're gonna make your money back. And if you
Very
piss
true.
off the nerds, you're gonna fail.
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah.
And then we had a super sticker from Jesus de Villa. I'm pretty sure it was a little lemon giving the little lemon a gift. Little lemon gift. So thank you for that. Really appreciate that. And I think we're caught up because we got this one. We got that one. And I believe we got this one from Christian Coral the Hill. So we're good. So thank you, everybody. We're caught up with super chats now. There he is, giving them another little lemon. So cute. Little lemon gift. But we have more things to talk about. So we're going to, because talk about freaking lawsuits. This was so freaking funny. I was like, we've got to talk about this. So Lady Gaga is being sued by a woman involved in kidnapping her 2 dogs for not paying the $500,000 reward. Jennifer McBride, who was arrested in relations to the crime in April 2021, claims that Gaga committed a breach of contract and more for not paying the reward.
Okay,
How
so this
crazy is
woman
this?
stole her dogs and returned the dog trying to get the reward. And Lady Gaga was like, no, that's not how this works.
Exactly.
And she was like, better show me that money. Like that. So,
Yep. So now she's doing.
This is absurd. This is
ridiculous.
How
world is falling
insane is
apart.
this? Oh my
Like,
god.
this is when sue culture has gone out of control.
Yes.
Yeah, this reminds me of those old cases you used to hear about where like somebody would break in the house and then they would sue the homeowner for getting shot.
Yes. Yeah. There was someone that did that in Florida. I remember this one dude. He broke into this old woman's house and like because he went through the roof though, and she had a sunroof, and the sunroof broke, and he fell and he broke his legs, and his legs were all caught up and stuff, and he sued her. And I was like, you break into this woman's house, like what the fuck?
That's called karma,
that wasn't even
bitch.
the only one. Yeah, I know.
That was one. I think there's been more, but I remember that.
That's where a lot of people started learning about the what the hell is it, like the castle laws or whatever it is, or where you can basically whether or not you can actually defend your home by
the stand your
lethal
ground
force.
laws and stuff like that.
Stand your ground. That's what I was trying to think of. Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel what Lady
Florida
Gaga needs to do is countersue the woman for
dog napping,
for pain and suffering that she was caused by her dogs being
the emotional
kidnapped.
turmoil.
Yes, emotional trauma.
Yeah,
I
use those
would.
key terms. Emotional trauma.
I'd be like, you bitch, you freaking dog nap my dog. Like, I'm
I bet she
your
said
ass.
this is a bad finance.
Gaga. I'm gonna sue you.
Yes.
Oh
my
my
gosh.
God.
This
That's
is
too
so
funny.
silly. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is not going to fly in court. I'm sorry.
No.
It's just
Mm-mm.
not.
I mean, if I'm not suing somebody for defaming me and getting my job taken from me, how can this person get away with suing somebody for not paying them for them stealing from them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Like,
give you
it
a
makes
better-
no sense.
I'll give you a better scenario than the other one we were just talking about. Like this is the equivalent of somebody who got busted in a house and arrested,
Mhm.
and they're sitting there trying to make the argument in court, being like, "Judge, I should not be prosecuted because I didn't even make it out of the house with the diamonds and money. So unless I get that diamonds and money, I don't think I should have to go to jail."
That's
Yeah,
exactly
no.
it, Tom. Oh my gosh.
Oh
Oh
God.
my god! Look, now the woman who returned the pair of booches is coming to collect them. They were stolen at gunpoint.
Holy shit!
Entitlement.
That's
They were stolen
doesn't
at
that
gunpoint?
automatically make it a felony? I think. I mean,
I think so.
Yes.
It's called a robbery. Like,
And
that is
especially if it's in the
insane.
state of California. I mean,
I don't know.
What
California
was
doesn't
this
give a shit
person-
about any crimes right now.
I mean, could
yeah,
you
well,
not
that's
just press
true. They let
That is
charges and
true.
send
people
them
poop
to
in the
jail?
streets.
Yeah, but somehow I think that these dogs were probably more expensive than $900. So I think
Yeah.
they won't care.
yeah, I was gonna say even if it matters is what they're worth, and I'm sure she has them insured on top of it all.
Oh,
so.
definitely. Jennifer
Oh, yeah.
McBride, who is one of 5 people arrested in the connection to the dog napping, is seeking a legal action against the Bad Romance singer for not paying her the $500,000 reward as promised.
The
After she
fucking
returned the dog.
audacity and entitlement these people have.
Okay, there's only
One of
one
5
scenario where I could see this being a situation where this person is actually thinking they're in the right. Now, mind you, I just said thinking. If this person was in contact with Gaga and let her know that we have the dog and I think I can get him back for you, but are you still willing to give me the reward if I can do this? So she basically played probably the other people out and then, ratted
Yep.
them out. But like in her eyes, she was like, "Oh, I should still get it because I was probably the person that ratted these other people out anyway." And
But if you
whatever.
were if you were
I'm just
an
giving
accomplice to
the-
the crime, it doesn't really matter, even if you.
I know exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Think. That's what I said.
This-
Think. And I'm just putting my shoes in a stupid person's mind for a moment.
This
That's all I'm
bitch,
saying.
Rob,
look
I know
at
where
this.
you're
It's like
going.
in a Friday filing, McBride's attorney alleged that Gaga committed a breach of contract, a fraud by false promise, and fraud by misinterpretation of including the words.
No question. Oh,
"No
never mind. She's
questions
that
asked."
dumb. Never mind. I thought maybe there was some kind of more to the story we just didn't have. Never
Oh
mind.
my
She's just a
God.
complete fucking moron.
Retarded. The lawsuit also claims that Gaga's reward offer was made with the intent to defraud and induce members of the public, such as plaintiff, to rely upon it and to act upon said promise by locating and delivering Gaga's bulldogs to defendants. EW has reached out to a representative from Gaga, but not immediately hear back. McBride was arrested in 2021 after the LAPD news release stated that she and fellow accomplices Harold White were both determined to be accessories after the
See,
initial
this is
crime.
where I was wondering. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
there is something to what I just said because if they're just
Mm.
accessories at this point, then
Right. That
she
would make
might
sense.
have she might have ratted them out, and that's why she's pissy is because she thought that she's
She's like, I
entitled
read
to
it.
this,
Yeah.
but
Mc-
she actually knew the people or played a role in it, so hence, yeah, it's almost like a con in a weird way that didn't
Yeah,
work
she's
out.
kind
It
of conning
is.
everybody around her. Yeah.
She's a narc. It's like she committed the crime and then she went and freaking narked on everybody. It's like, go fuck yourself, man. Snitches get stitches, bitch. You're not gonna get a fucking payout. What the hell? Let's see.
It gets
McBride was
weirder.
subsequently charged with one count of being an accessory after the fact and another for receiving a stolen property, according to NBC Palm Springs. She pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 2 years probation in December.
Wow.
Okay.
James Howard Jackson, who
So she
shot
was also
Fisher,
the
also
go-between,
pleaded no
too.
contest.
Who shot
Who-
Fisher? So somebody got shot in this whole.
Wow,
Oh,
somebody got
oh,
shot.
That's what I was saying. This gets weirder.
It just get, yeah,
Jeez.
that's tough.
Dude, see, like people
Oh,
talk
shit.
about Cocaine Bear being made into a movie. This needs to be
I was
made
just
into a
thinking
movie,
that.
Yep.
man. Like starring Lady Gaga, the fucking
Gaga's
kidnap.
puppies.
you wanted to see Gaga's puppies. Well, now here they are. Oh my god. this
They
is
took her
insane.
dogs.
Now she's getting revenge.
Now she's gonna take their lives, based loosely on the true story.
Oh my god.
Only
I
in this
can't believe
version,
this is
Gaga's
real.
the one who comes in guns blazing, saving her dogs. Like,
I would
And then
watch
it's
that.
like guest starring Keanu Reeves as fucking John Wick.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves plays Lady Gaga.
Good.
Raw
fucking
ga
God.
ga ga ga. Give me my dogs back.
Oh.
Oh
Now,
my god.
Here's another funny article. real quick.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go over this one, which is also funny. Australian restaurant refuses service to Russell Crowe girlfriend because they were wearing. The incident happened when the couple had gone to the Mr. Miyagi Fusion establishment in Melbourne
What?
for a quick bite to eat after a game of tennis.
Mr. Miyagi has a
Oh,
restaurant that I don't know about.
Yeah, I want to go.
Yeah, can I go?
It's Mr. Miyagi's restaurant in Melbourne, Australia.
His dojo
It's
restaurant.
supposed to be like a bougie, like, fancy
I'm
dress
assuming-
place. And this is real. So days after the American singer Post Malone was denied entry into a rooftop bar in Perth, Australia over tattoos, a similar case involving high-profile celebrities has surfaced, this time well-known actor Russell Crowe and his girlfriend Brittany, I don't know how to read that last name.
Thoreau.
Thank you, Thoreau. Were turned away from a restaurant in Australia because they didn't meet the smart casual dress code, New York
Who's
posted.
that?
Yeah, what's smart casual, guys?
What is
I've not heard that one.
No,
my
I haven't heard
that either.
understanding is usually that means you can't have on, like, for men, it would obviously be, you probably don't have to wear a tie necessarily.
Probably like
but
a
it has to be
polo and like
at least
pants.
something that's dressier,
Mm.
and you can't wear like tennis shoes probably, and same thing for a woman, she has to at least be in
Yeah, you
some
kind
can't
of
sort
like
wear flip flops.
dress
like
attire
basically
and
like
can't wear-
jeans and a
Oh, here
collared
it
shirt
is.
with maybe a jacket.
Oh, here you go.
Here it
See,
is.
there you go.
Yeah, it says in the article, notably the restaurant described itself as casual but fancy wear, work gear, active wear, singlets, and thongs and flip-flops. Thongs. Who's wearing thongs?
Oh, so they mean thongs like flip flops.
They mean
like
Yeah,
the
like
shoe.
yeah, like
flip
the
flop.
the T strap kind of.
I didn't
look.
know
Yeah.
that that's what they're called in Australia.
Wait, what?
because Where
Have
I'm
you not
from,
ever
They're
heard
called, yeah, they're called
No.
that here too. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've heard it even in the States.
Oh, wow. Okay, so flip flops must be just a Canadian and a British thing.
Yeah,
then,
honestly, I
because-
didn't know the word thong for underwear or the type of underwear until like they started having like the thong song and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that thong, the thong, thong, thong. Like,
Yeah, but no, as a kid, as we were younger, whenever anybody said thongs, that's what they meant as flip flops.
wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Or any toe shoe like that, to where even if it's a high heel,
Oh.
they'll call that sometimes a thong.
Gotcha.
Toe.
So they're forbidden. Owner Christian Klein told the Daily Herald that the pair were wearing slobby gym gear. So they were
Well, that would
turned
be
away.
active wear.
Yeah.
Because they were wearing tennis, and they were wearing tennis. Like Mr. Crowe was wearing a Ralph Lauren polo shirt while she was wearing a tennis skirt. And seeing their costumes, they were turned away by the
They
restaurant
must
staff.
have just been playing tennis, so she probably
Yeah.
had tennis shoes on, I'd imagine, too, and that's probably
Yeah.
what really did it more than anything.
And then so they go, we treat everyone the same. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're Russell Crowe, we've got a dress code that we push across every level, Mr. Klein told the Herald Sun. But then they found out that it was Russell Crowe, and then they decided to change their tune. So they're like, he added, we're not trying to teach people how to dress, but I know personally, if I'm in my thongs and my boardies, I don't know how Australian people speak. I'm
Board
not going to
shorts.
try and go to the nice restaurant because I wouldn't be dressed properly. The owner also said that the staff member who refused the service, refused service to the couple, didn't recognize the gladiator actor. I mean, to be fair, he's really fat now and kind of
Yeah,
like
he's
looks
gained
very
some weight.
different.
I mean, he wasn't he just in Thor: Love and Thunder though?
yes, he was, and he
Was
he
he?
well,
Yeah, he
he
played
was
Zeus.
Zeus,
Oh, that's
and-
right. He was in
and he was
the heaven
fat.
part. That's right.
and he was fat, dude.
I forgot he
Later,
was
the
even in the
restaurant.
movie. That's how bad that thing was.
Yeah.
And hey, they
It's
so
too hot,
disappointed.
damn it.
they didn't make too much money too. So I
Nope.
mean, not a lot of people are watching Marvel stuff anymore. So
See, that's
they're
the
not
thing with
recognizing
Marvel.
these people.
That's the thing with Marvel movies. Like so quickly, people forget. They're like, "Oh yeah, like that happened." Like like I just had a conversation with my friend the other day, and we were talking about Doctor Strange, or no, sorry, it was Thor, and I was like, "Yeah," and the Christian Bale was in it, and they're like, "Christian Bale was in that?" Like, and
He
then they
was
already
the bad
forgot.
guy.
Like,
Right.
it's like, yeah, he played the main bad guy in that fucking movie.
Mhm.
Later, the restaurant tried to make light of the situation with a funny update on Instagram saying, dress smart casual. Unless you're Russell Crowe, then wear whatevs, the sign read.
What? That's almost like a backhanded.
It
like-
feels very
That
like
does.
that. Yeah. I feel
Oh,
like it's a bit of a
wow.
bitch move on this restaurant's part.
Yeah.
Almost
I-
makes you wonder if they did actually know who it was and they were being dicks on purpose. Because isn't he from Australia anyway?
Isn't he?
So maybe he swings his
don't
dick
know.
around a little too much. 'Cause remember,
Oh.
he got in trouble for throwing a phone at some guy at a hotel too.
Ooh, I don't
Oh.
know.
So
And
maybe
he's
maybe there's
been-
some history there, and
That's what I was
Australians are
wondering
not
too. I'm like, I
very,
wonder if
yeah.
he'd got in trouble before.
Yeah.
The most recent news I heard about him was actually really good news that I covered on my good news show, and he saved some bookstore. That was like the latest news that I had read about him. He like saved.
I'm
some
not saying he's a
bookstore.
bad person, but he's known
No,
for
I
getting
know.
into fights and
Yeah, he's a
Not
they have a
everybody
rowdy.
can
South Park
be-
episode about it. Like,
He's a rowdy guy. Yeah, he's rowdy.
Not every Australian can be Hugh Jackman.
Exactly,
Exactly.
Kara.
True.
Exactly. The restaurant also added a note regarding Mr. Crowe's visit and said that they would love to have him back. The post read, "Dear Russell, during your last visit, it seems we got off on the wrong foot. After much reflection on what occurred, we have made a permanent change to our dress code. We would love to see you again in the future. You're always welcome at Mr. Miyagi." So there you go. That was some funny,
oh,
weird little thing.
Wow.
Okay,
First
last
world
thing.
fucking problems, man.
I know,
First
right?
world
Last
fucking
thing.
problems.
This, like, we have to share this. I wanted to get the reaction of the ladies because this
yeah.
is hilarious.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this. I'm curious now.
This is so funny.
As you're
Okay, here
getting
we
that up
go.
here, actually, come. This is funny. The phone was broken, so he threw it at the attendant. Good thing the toilet was working.
Oh,
Really funny trivia thing. Gaelic Storm, which was made popular due to the Titanic movie, but now they're a really popular band now.
They're good.
One of their songs actually references Russell Crowe, because one of the
Oh.
band members was actually a bouncer, and he had to try to bounce Russell Crowe out.
that's crazy.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So-
That's what I said. He's got a pretty crazy
He's rowdy.
history.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really rowdy. It's a really funny song. So he makes fun
That's
of
cool.
him as being gladiator and everything. It's great.
That's funny. Dear Russell, please don't kill us. Okay.
This headline, I'm just trying. My mind's trying to work through it.
This is the best thing I have seen today. This is possibly the funniest thing I've seen all week.
What?
This is what your worlds are lacking. Artists are using AI to create fat black sci-fi and fantasy characters. Fat black people deserve to be the main characters capable of anything. Long story short, there's a bunch of woke artists that are like, we don't
Oh,
have
look at the
enough
writer
fat
of the article
black
there.
people in our art, and we need more fat black representation, especially black fat females. And so here we go. Here's some
What?
art.
What is this? No.
I want to see them try to jump off a roof.
No.
So this is one of the dudes that
Oh,
made the
no.
art. I mean, you just gotta read this article too, and it's the funniest thing I've ever fucking read in my life. So this is one of the arts.
They say I shouldn't exist, that I'm an anomaly. I wonder if they mean me as an AI being or as a queer, fat, black Afrofuturist solo punk warrior excavator. I wonder
my
if they know
gosh.
the possibilities I represent. In the right hands, of course. Here at the Electric Afroscience Institute, where we shine like your daddy's pomade in the summer North Philly sun, like your anti-lemonade, like them fresh Newport boxes.
What the
We're
fuck?
just trying to see ourselves in a more cosmic light. We belong, and if you disagree, get your bars up. Who out here gonna draw me? We trying to grow plants. We cultivating medicines. We trying to discover new species and
This
stop
is
the man
some
from controlling
racist
every
shit.
aspect of
This is
science and
extremely
wonder.
racist.
What
Yeah.
side you on?
This is all stereotypes
Yes,
that they're trying
I'm
to.
single
Is this
for
the
all these
AI?
reasons.
And if this AI really did it,
Did
that's
he
a
literally
racist
say
fucking
he
AI.
wanted some like lemonade? I mean, is he going to add some fried chicken to it as well? I mean, like literally, like you said, it's just stereotypes.
I mean, apparently
My
it's-
jaw
it's
is on the
being-
floor right now.
Apparently, it's being made by black people. So I mean, I don't know.
No, but they said it's an AI.
I know they did. They did. I mean,
That's just weird.
Wow.
so there you go. There's that.
Wow.
There's that, and then there's more.
This
That's
guy made me
ridiculous.
go
This is
full
Oh.
fucking Owen Wilson.
Oh.
there.
This is one of the arts that was created.
So
Right,
show
AI?
me content.
Yeah.
Show me some sort of entertainment that would be fun to watch.
Look, there's not enough black, fat, queer people in sci-fi, and they want more black, fat, queer people, Kara. I mean, why aren't you,
And make
what are you
something like
getting
Kara
at?
said. Like,
Then make it. Make it. And if
Exactly.
it's successful, awesome. That's
Yep.
all you gotta fucking do.
The funniest thing is that
hands
the
down, she's right.
article talks about, like, look, okay, we have black people in sci-fi. Like, it was like, what was it? Star Trek. Hold on, let me find it. It was so funny.
I mean,
There it
and
is.
I'm not
Mainstream
trying-
sci-fi features black characters like Morpheus on The Matrix, Mace Windu from Star Wars, and Lieutenant Commander LaForge, and Laura from Star Trek. But in general, black characters aren't afforded the same prominence and screen time as their white counterparts. And when black people are present, they tend to be what? Sachet,
I
assuming
love how they ignored Alien. I'm sorry. Alien has both Sigourney Weaver and Yaphet Kotto in the main cast. And
What about
Sigourney's the only one
fucking-
left over?
What about DS9? Like,
There's
so
tons of them.
many.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Can we not have more Idris Elbas in the world, please?
Right?
No. But you guys
Jesus
don't understand.
fucking
You guys don't
Christ.
understand. They have a problem with good-looking black people because they're saying, and when black people are present, they tend to be this, like, basically nice-looking, assumed, and conventionally attractive. Fat black bodies are a rarity, so they're like, we need more black, fat, unhealthy representation.
And it's just like, no,
we really
Like,
don't.
no, we don't. Like, we need
No.
people to not to
It's a bad influence, and this is coming
It
from a
is.
fat
It's
kid.
unhealthy.
It is very unhealthy. It's not. I don't know where to begin to be able to just
Well,
like speak
basically,
on
they
this.
want-
It's just
they
bad.
want people to die. Like, that's just the
Yeah.
bottom line. Like, that's
They're-
what you're promoting.
They're
Like,
encouraging.
they hate themselves. They hate themselves, and they hate other good-looking black people as well. Like, they hate good-looking people in general and like healthy people, especially black people, because they're like, you guys aren't enough. You black people aren't enough. We need the fat ones. Okay,
Well,
yes, Fat
especially-
Albert.
You know what? I grew up with the Nutty Professor, so I think it's been
Norbert.
Uh-huh.
And too, there's always this thing against really masculine looking black men too. So them promoting this sort of stuff, it feels like it's sheer projection or some form of jealousy over the success of other far more successful black people who are obviously good looking and they've done well for themselves.
well.
But you look at the content that is out there, and it's always very self-deprecating. Like,
Mhm.
why do you want to lean towards that instead of being like, hey, I want to feel good about myself.
Mhm.
Let's do something to like make me feel good about myself.
Or your audience who's looking up to you, help us aspire them to be a better person or a better version of themselves or something. I don't know.
And,
It's-
and
But instead, what they're doing is the opposite. They're like, I see all my flaws, and I want to see my flaws in different.
I don't want to see
things
my
on the
flaws
screen.
anywhere.
It's okay.
No,
Like,
I don't want to
what
see their
I'm trying to
flaws
say is
either.
it's okay to have flaws.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, yes, you want to feel comfortable in your own body, but you also need to know what is healthy. And like, I wouldn't say it's like unacceptable, but at the same time, like, why, if you're feeling miserable, why would you want to wish that on somebody else?
well,
Misery
and
loves company.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
trying to be harsh here, but we had to watch the Eternals, and we already had like a overweight gay black guy as a eternal superhero. So,
We'll have
Well,
some more.
Real quick, Nina, could you go back up to that guy, the one that was
Yes.
talking
what is
before?
that? That's who they're going to
Yeah.
replace Ariel with next.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
god!
looks more like Ursula. But anyway, the guy, here's the thing that bothers me about that AI thing that you had above there, the
Hmm.
guy that was talking.
This guy.
You could have sold me on something there. Like, instead, all he sat there and talked about was my pronouns, my sexual orientation, my skin color, my skin color, my skin color, my skin color.
Tell me about you.
Who
Tell me
you
about
are as a
exactly.
person.
What
Tell
is
me
your
about you as a
love?
person.
What is your passions? What
Or what is-
what makes you tick?
Or sell me on the story of this. Like, he could have said like
Exactly.
something like, yesterday I was just a normal guy. Now I'm half android. You should find out what happened to me. And that would be
Yeah.
intriguing.
I would
Yeah.
watch that.
I'd be intrigued. I wouldn't be
know-
like, oh, here's another fat guy. Like, I'd be like, oh, okay, let me watch this. This
No,
sounds
he's
like
just
pretty
spouting
good.
racist shit. Like, what the
I,
fuck?
I feel like
not.
I feel like now characteristics have become personality types, and it's off.
It's
It's
very
weird.
prominent right now, and it's not
Mhm.
healthy to
No, it's
be
not.
fixated on something like that. Like, it's not like I'm going down the street and be like, oh, I'm white and blonde, like, woe is
Mm.
me, or pay attention to me. Like, no,
Where's
that's
my
not
white
how it fucking works.
privilege?
And Tom just kind of hit it on the head. It's just like what makes someone interesting is their personality, their
Yes.
character.
Yeah.
Like no one cares what skin color you are or these different things. Like that doesn't make someone attracted to you. And by attracted, I don't even mean physically. I just mean as a person. It's
Right.
like that's not interesting. Like I'm sorry, being white or being black's not interesting. Like that's not what
No,
makes
it's
people
not.
interested.
Yeah.
You're not interested in this? I mean, come on.
I'm definitely not interested in that. I don't
It
know.
looks
what
like
that
something I
looks-
see in Men in
And,
Black.
and now when I go
Yeah,
to
I was just gonna
sleep, I'm
say,
gonna
here you
see
go.
that in my nightmares.
Yeah, that looks like some shit out in Men in Black. That was a good call.
That
Oh,
does.
I like how the AI still can't do the fingers.
They can't do
They
hands.
still
It's so
can't,
funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways,
Oh my gosh.
here's some more images.
When
They're
didn't
gay
they
and
recently do a overweight? Sorry, there's a bug and it's driving me nuts. Didn't they recently do a comic book about a overweight superhero that didn't do well?
Faith, is that the one you're thinking
Oh,
about?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I
they
think
do.
they're actually making a TV show or a movie out of now. Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
how.
god.
It's
We'll
it's
see how it
it's
goes.
unrealistic.
It is.
Yeah.
Like
And this
I
is, I
can't.
believe it's.
I'm fairly like in shape compared to a lot of people, and I can't even like make a run around like my neighborhood. Like,
Right.
like, how am I supposed to fight bad guys?
Yeah.
Oh my god, look at this. On the other hand, AI can surprisingly be surprisingly
not
good when
say
it
that
comes to
name.
skin tones. I won't. For fat black bodies, the images I generate are almost exclusively of dark-skinned folks. And the
Is this a
benevolent
troll?
byproduct of racism that the AI is only considered black fat people, dark skinned. This is the person's name, not
Yeah, is this a troll or a parody or something?
I don't know.
Because I see that name and I'm like,
As
It feels like it
imperfect
should
and
be a
rooted in
troll.
white supremacy, guys. God. So
I
mean, they're saying all the buzzwords. So-
I mean, it is BuzzFeed News. You got
Yeah,
the
that's true.
BuzzFeed, the buzzwords. Anyways, I just thought this was funny because that's where we're at. We need some
Oh,
more
BuzzFeed.
fat
I mean,
AI art.
wouldn't this for any for
Go on.
me, if this is how people see themselves or want to be portraying themselves, wouldn't this feel insulting to you as a person? Like just seeing this, thinking that this is what you're supposed to be represented with. I wouldn't be very happy with this. But
Mhm.
I don't know. People out there have different minds on things, and
I think Meg's like it's become a culture of being in love with your like basically your victimhood and like
Yeah.
your this culture of
it's
just
the
being in-
popular thing is
it's
to
so in vogue to be a
self-deprecate
victim. Like
Well,
and
it's
to
just
that
like-
victim mentality because
Yeah.
it's like you said earlier, it's misery wants company.
yeah.
and then
And,
it's
like, and they want to produce more losers.
yeah.
They want
Yes.
they want people to be
need to
enslaved.
compete.
Like really.
And
I'm
not only
being
that, but they
serious.
want them down to their level to make
Yeah.
themselves feel better and superior to everybody else. So
Yes.
that's the only way to do it, is to bring everybody down to their misery, to their level, to their base level of
Mhm.
just mediocrity. Excuse me for saying that, but
No.
that's what it is. They don't aspire to anything. They don't want to improve. They don't want to do anything.
And
They don't
that's
want to
why that-
create. They just want to sit and do nothing.
And that's why that South Park freaking episode was so funny and on the money, because it was like about the royals and how they're so privileged and how
Yep.
all of this shit is going on. And they're like just perpetual victims. It's like, and
Mm-hmm.
like on that group thing, and every single one of those categories, the last one would be victim. And it's like, okay, you're going to be this, and this, victim, this, and this, victim. And it's just like, that's the culture now. It's like, oh, if you're a
Mhm.
victim or if you're in a part of any group that has victim status, then you're golden. Otherwise, well, you can go fuck yourself because
And
you're probably white.
a lot of people are dealing with their own shit. Excuse me for saying like that. People are dealing with their own level of shit. Look at
Mhm.
Carolyn here. I mean, prime example. So, I mean, everybody's dealing with their own shit. We don't need everybody else to parade around as if they're some victim and that we need to bow down to them for every whim for them. It's, each one of us here deals with their own stuff. So it's just
Exactly.
like, stop.
I was publicly humiliated, and you don't see me
Exactly.
walking down the street with a sign that says, "Hey, I need your attention. Pay
You got-
attention to me."
You got your scarlet letter, Carolyn.
You really did. You poor thing. Oh my God. Okay.
That's all
It's
right.
bedtime,
Red's our favorite
guys.
color here. Yes, indeed. Lyle Hammock says, however, I must add, as much as I like the early episodes 6 and 7 were so stupid, I won't be back for Rings of Power season 2, lol. Anyway, who besides Jackson do you trust to write and direct these new films? That's a good
Ooh,
question.
Good question.
Not many.
I don't trust anybody, man. I don't trust
I-
anybody
you-
anymore.
You can't even trust some of the legacy ones like Spielberg. No.
I mean, I like Denis Villeneuve because what he's doing with Dune, I think he's doing incredible things
Yeah.
with Dune.
Yeah.
Dune
But
is good.
I don't know if he'll be able to do Lord of the Rings.
No.
Lord
They
of the
just-
Rings is a specific type of person that can do Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, they just need to go with Jackson.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's a fantasy person that's just like, yes, like I'm very good at it. That's who they need. Whoever's the
Chat, do you guys have any
equivalent-
suggestions?
Yeah,
that would be
whoever's the
good.
equivalent of Peter Jackson to now. Like, I mean, I don't know like who that would be, but I don't know. Good question.
I don't know where to be. It has to be somebody who's able to meet that scope and scale and detail to
Who
that
directed Dark
story.
Materials?
Ooh, good question. I don't know, but they were good at adapting. It was a couple. I think it was a husband and wife. I forget their name.
Amit Gupta was
Amit
the
Gupta.
lead.
Okay.
Was the director of the opening 2 episodes. Be followed by Charles Martin and Wernoka.
No, but that's the director. Like, who is the screenwriter? Like, that would be the adaptive.
Jack Thorne, created by Jack
The
Thorne.
showrunner.
Created by
Mhm.
Jack Thorne. Then, so there you go. That's an interesting option. I would
Yeah.
willing
What
to
about-
explore
I
because
mean,
they did a good job.
What about of course, I'm probably going to get some pushback for this, but I'm just saying because of the level of detail and scale that the movie provided. What about the director of The Northman? Because it's very period based and it's
Not
set
bad.
and it
Northman
could
was
be,
interesting.
yeah. I know it's not.
I
It's
can't
not.
think of his name, but he's Norwegian. I know.
Yeah, and I'm
They
just.
pay attention to detail, so that sounds pretty good. Like,
And it's
you don't
somebody
need-
who has some sort. It has to be somebody who has some sort of experience making a movie in a period type time, who
Yeah.
understands that level of detail, and because it's going to be Lord of the Rings is basically a medieval fantasy,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
you have to be able to have that idea in your head,
Well,
or
and
be
there
able to
might be
create that
other-
aesthetic.
There might be other possibilities too, because as pointed
Yeah.
out in the chat here, Dark King reminds me and others that Peter Jackson, this was when he did Lord of the Rings. That was his first fantasy.
True.
That's
This
true.
is
Before
true.
that, all he had done was horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why he
Oh.
added a little bit of horror elements to the Lord of the Rings movies, which added a little stakes and a little
Mhm.
suspense. So, which was perfect.
Okay, Mr. Tickle Trunk for Toonie. Thank you. Says this dog napping is like Cartman's South Park plot. I didn't
Shit.
I didn't see it. It reminded
No, it just
me
sounds
of
like
the,
something he would do.
Oh,
It
but
does.
it reminded me of the Seinfeld episode when Elaine and fucking Kramer and fucking Newman kidnapped the dog because she it kept barking all night and she couldn't fall asleep. So they like dog napped the fucking dog, and it found its way back. Have you guys not seen that episode? Oh my god, it's so good, so good.
I vaguely remember it.
So it's so funny.
But thank you, Mr. Pickle Trunk. And then we've got John Thomas next, if you want to grab that one.
Kara, yeah.
But this is towards Mags.
I don't mind
Oh.
reading it.
Go ahead, Mags.
You
read it.
want me to read it to you, Mags? Do ya?
You do it
Do it in
ASMR
an
style.
ASMR voice. Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yeah, do it.
ASMR.
Mags, I'm a long time fan, or long time Wheel of Time fan. Since the second novel came out, where can I find these white cloaks? I'm thinking of going to Jordan Con in Atlanta to troll them.
Damn, that was hot.
I'll be back in a few minutes, guys.
Tom's gonna go feed the ducks now.
Oh yeah, we need to feed the ducks.
Hey.
To answer John Thomas, the White Cloaks actually were the ones that trashed Wheel of Time, the show itself, because they're huge Wheel of Time Robert Jordan fans. So they do have a YouTube channel. So
Oh, cool. There you go.
so shout out to White Cloaks.
There you go.
And
All right, then we got Cal. Oops.
go ahead, Tom. You do it.
All right, Cal-El, if you want to grab that one, Michelle.
Oh yeah, with the Canadian. How do I say this? Canadian. It's not
Yeah,
Canadian $10.
you can just say $10, or you
Okay.
can say Canadian $10. It's up to you.
All right. And I don't know if I have such a sexy voice. I don't even know if I can attempt such a thing.
I think you should try.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Do you go low?
You have to
Like,
get close to the mic and
Just
talk
Gotta
really
get
low and
really
whisper.
close. Almost whisper.
Fun fact. A
There you
scene in
go.
the movie Proof of Life with Russell Crowe was filmed at Stowe School in England. One of the students attending the school was Henry Cavill and played an extra in the scene.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
That
Michelle.
You made me go like full on Owen Wilson there.
Wow, I think you
Wow.
could really make one of those OnlyFans, Michelle. Like, you have no idea. You were like right on the money. I don't
And the
think I
last
can
one-
do it. I don't think
the
I can
last-
do it, but I'll try.
Only
Next one
force
is
of
yours.
light.
Yeah. I was gonna say Sonic times 2 here for Megs, because I accidentally skipped over her because I forgot she had just answered the last one and didn't read it.
It's okay.
So if you want to grab the
Thank you, Sonic, for $2. You guys got flagged last week. What happened?
Goosebumps.
Yeah,
I don't
what
know
did
how to
happen?
answer
You
that
guys got
now.
flagged?
Yeah, well, what happened is we showed a South Park clip from like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh.
we got fucked because of the South Park clip.
Yeah, it was CBS that pulled it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay,
CBS Paramount.
so I'm gonna get the next one. I'll try this in that
Do it,
voice.
Nina.
Okay.
Come on,
Yeah.
Nina.
Lando was my favorite Star Wars character as a kid. He had a good redemption arc, wore capes, and owned a damn city. This ignoring the past stuff is poop. Did I do it right?
I never knew poop could be sexy before.
I feel like we should just read all super chats from here on this way.
Yep.
I think so too. I think we
boy.
should.
Well, there's one more left, so who's the last one?
Go ahead,
Tom,
Kara.
Tom. No,
Okay,
we gotta
Tom's
hear
got to do
Tom's
it. Okay,
ASMR.
Tom, you do it.
Yes, Tom.
The rest
Come on, Tom, do
today,
the ASMR. Do it.
the rest today, just push open.
What? I couldn't hear anything.
Tom is such a whisper. We can't even hear.
today, just push on open doors. Thumbs down.
That felt more like a robot was coming after me.
Yeah, that's not my.
I thought it was like Eeyore. I'm like, that was your Eeyore.
Yeah, I can do that better. I'm on the spot now. That's the problem. I'll just do it as Shatner.
Johnny just gave me a serious compliment over there in the chat.
Oh my god,
Ooh.
this is the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. Nina said poop in a sexy voice. Checks out the fucking.
Like I said, I never thought poop could be sexy, but yeah. We
I
got
didn't
action
Oh
right
no,
now.
he didn't.
Oh,
Who's gonna
gosh.
read this one?
okay, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to get it?
Yeah, you do it.
Action Con for $5. She opened the bedroom door. He was there, ready for her. The air was heavy.
And so was she, because she was AI art.
That's great, Tom. That was good.
That was
I-
perfect.
That might
was
be a
You're
new
all wait,
feature
folks.
of Toxic Fam. Like, we're gonna do ASMR super chat.
At least one of the super chat readings has to be done that way.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
We'll pick like one or two, and then we'll just like do sexy ASMR style. What a great stream it's been, you guys.
been a lot of fun, yeah.
Fantastic.
I
Loved
had a lot
it.
of fun. Thank you for having me on today, guys. I had a
Absolutely.
lot of
You can
fun.
come back anytime. Same
Anytime,
thing,
you're
of course,
welcome.
With Megs as well, and Michelle, you always see here, and she knows
Mhm.
she's welcome as well. So Thank you so much, ladies, for being here. Michelle, anything you got to plug? I know you got to run soon, so we'll let you go
Yes,
first.
let's see. We we actually are going to cover the Mandalorian. We'll see. We'll be fair. I always give my honest opinions about things. And then we have a reaction. Our next reaction is Scream 5, which it's going to be the first time at the end of it like I kind of go on a rant for me.
Oh,
I had strong
Sweet.
feelings at the end of that movie.
I
hated
still haven't
that
seen
movie.
it. I still haven't seen it.
Hated it.
Yeah, you're
That's
gonna-
why I didn't watch it, Tom, because you hated it so much. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm not wasting my
Tom,
time.
you might have to go to the end even just to hear what. Yeah,
I
I
will.
really got in my feelings on that one, so definitely be on the lookout for that.
I think I'm just gonna watch yours. Like, I'll just go and watch your. I'm not gonna watch the movie, so I'll just go and watch the rant.
Yeah, you're not gonna miss a lot.
Okay.
Looking forward to that. And thank you, Michelle. So check out Force of Light. The link, of course, is in the description, and I'm sure they've been sharing it.
Oh, by the way, Kara and Mags. I mean, Mags knows, but Kara, she's got a sister who looks very similar to her, but not really at all. Her name is
Has
Natalie,
red hair.
she has red hair, and they do the show together. And for the life of me, I just couldn't like remember which one was which for like a year. Like, so I'd be like, "Hi, Natalie, Michelle, Natalie, Michelle." I don't know, but it was the funniest thing, and she's so sweet too. She's
We won't
so
let
sweet.
her live it down.
Yeah,
No.
no, it's gonna be funny. But yeah, you got to check out their channel. Everybody, check
Absolutely.
them out.
Yes, they have a lot of fun videos over there. And Mags has been getting her channel going as well. Mags, tell folks a little bit about what you got coming.
So I'll be on tomorrow night on Jacob Ironside's channel, Tuesday at 8 p.m. We'll be discussing on a panel, talking Rear Window. So we'll be exploring that world.
Ooh.
Yep. So on Jacob Ironside's channel there. And then on Thursday on my channel I'll be playing the remaster of my favorite game of all time. And this is for the first time. So it's Final Fantasy VI, the Pixel remaster. So that starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on my channel. And then coming up this Saturday, I'll be on Brandon the Anime Guy's channel around noon and talking about the first season of Sailor Moon. So
Yay, Sailor
Ooh.
Moon! I love
Yep.
Sailor Moon. Oh my god.
Oh, yep.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're showing Sailor Moon.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
There she is.
Oh,
I am so jealous. I want one so bad.
I want to take her out of the box, but like I need a better place before I take her out of the box. So I
Right.
haven't taken her out of the box yet.
But yeah, you
So,
can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and I do have a Twitch. It depends on how the Final Fantasy VI stream ends up, because Nintendo can be a little anal on copyright stuff. So
Mhm.
I'll see how that goes. So maybe I'll switch over there. But yeah, I'll be playing that.
Yay!
And Carolyn, please tell the folks a little bit about what you got coming up. Anything you got to plug?
So I have been streaming on Twitch every weekday from noon to 5 Eastern time. This week I will be on the Boss Rush podcast on Wednesday at 9 p.m. or 8:30 ish, 9:30 or 8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern, and then I will be back to hang out with Nina on Friday.
Yay!
For
She's coming
Infinite
out.
Hope.
Mhm. That's gonna be super fun. Can't wait for
So,
that.
yeah, I'm excited to hang out with Nina again this week.
Awesome. And thank you
Yay!
so much for coming in tonight. It was really awesome.
Of course, I had so
Not
much
often do we get to
fun.
talk to the people we report about. That's
I know it's it's not very often at all.
I had a blast. I had a lot of fun. Thirsting over Henry Cavill.
Well, you
We
welcome
always
back, like I
thirst
said.
over Henry Cavill.
Yep. Yes,
That's
we
a
do.
norm here. Yes.
It's an excellent time. That's why I enjoy
I
Monday
just gotta
nights.
mop up the afterwards. That's all.
Yeah.
Well,
Clean up,
I
mop
am-
up.
Happy
get
to
some extra
join
towels.
anytime.
Please do. The invitation is always open. And last but definitely not least, Nina, tell the folks what you got coming.
Thank you, everybody. Ladies, you were fantastic tonight. Thank you guys, everybody, for watching. And you can find me on my channel, Nina Infinity, and on Twitter, Nina7Infinity. Tomorrow, I'll be on Latino Slants channel. Polly invited me for a little powwow, and I believe that is at, I think, 4:30 Pacific. So I think that, oh, no, wait, sorry. It's 3:20 or 3:30, I guess, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. So come and check us out there on Latino Slants channel. And then Friday, of course, Infinite Hope. And Wednesday this week for Breaking the Narrative. Who do I got? Let me tell you guys, which I have to check with whoever it is. But I have somebody cool. Who was it? Wait, what's the date?
Today is Monday. No, it's the 27th.
Monday the 27th. Today's the 27th.
Okay. I'm
Would that
not
be
going to
March
announce it
1st?
because it might be someone amazing, but it also might not work out. So I'm not going to announce that right now.
Yeah, I hate doing that when you're not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but
So now
either
we have
way-
to check out to see if this
Who it
person
is.
shows up and who they are.
yeah, but
Mhm.
either way, I will be streaming Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern for Breaking the Narrative. So I'll either have an amazing guest or some other amazing guests that you will still know and love, and just come check me out. Come check me out. That's it. That's my plugs. Thank you very much.
Awesome sauce. And somebody's calling for maximum effort puppy. Since we're on Mead,
Yay,
I think
let's
we
do
can
it.
do it.
Let's do it.
We love the maximum
Oh,
effort.
puppy.
No, puppy.
Oh, yes.
You can do it, buddy.
it.
You got this. Oh my God.
I
Get
love
the
you.
belly. Get the belly over.
Oh, strut. Oh, the little strut.
There
Puppy.
you go.
Oh.
And now
Yay.
they're calling for the glory.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
No.
Uh,
Just a
Right?
reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Jerry
That's a
Jones, no.
That's Nerd Cookies' favorite clip
It
ever.
is.
I love that. So good.
Oh God. Poor
Thank
Dallas
you so
Cowboys.
much, guys. This has been a lot of fun. Okay, we'll do a Fenton, and we'll actually go out on Fenton. How does that?
Okay.
It has been a long time since we've done a Fenton. Thanks so much again, ladies, for being here tonight, and thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and next time I promise not to fuck up the channel. Take care.
Bye.